receiving a pay stub that has $0 on it.
Despite that, he says they continue to show up for work.
Where you're seeing some of these delays come through from staffing shortages, but in reality, we're already short.
Crawford says they don't want a lack of pay to add more distraction and risk to the aviation system. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
Well, federal SNAP food aid will also run out this weekend without a budget deal in place, and that's also led to some action. DoorDash says it's waiving fees for partner food bank organizations next month to help more than 300 groups that partner with the delivery service to transport food. Some of those groups are right here in Metro Atlanta. It's estimated about 1 in 8 Americans use SNAP to pay for groceries, including almost 1.5 million Georgians. It is 52 degrees down Midtown Atlanta. Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz says look for more mist, cloudy skies today, especially tonight. The high will only get into the upper 50s today. Even more rain's expected tomorrow as well. Atlanta's most accurate, dependable forecast is coming up. Meanwhile, we are tracking Hurricane Melissa today, the powerful Category 5 storm set to make landfall in Jamaica at any time, bringing with it life-threatening storm surge, flash flooding, and winds of more than 170 miles per hour. Local residents like Bobby Winter say while hotels used by tourists should withstand the storm, other parts of the island are in real danger.
We have to hope and pray that there is minimum damage and there are no loss of life. But we expect a lot of water.
A lot of water. It'll be the most powerful storm in recorded history to ever hit Jamaica. Melissa is later expected to head away from the U.S. mainland. Watching a vote today from the DeKalb County Commission that could set up a new Bill of Rights for water customers there. Commissioner Ted Terry says the most important rights in the measure are the ability to dispute a bill and having an advocate available to hear cases.
We are trying to unwind what is almost a decade of unpaid bills, delinquent bills, impacting almost every 1 in 2 DeKalb water customers.
The county has approved an Office of Water Customer Advocacy to lobby for ratepayers to get good outcomes on bill disputes. He says that office should be fully staffed by the end of this year. Now, the Georgia Board of Natural Resources is holding a vote of its own today. This one on a proposal to raise fees at state parks. Mark Woodall with the Sierra Club warns in some cases fees for things like parking or daily veterans passes would double.
There's an audit there talking about how other people are charging more other states, but we think this is something Georgia ought to be proud of, letting people enjoy their park system without charging high fees.
He says it'll be at today's meeting to show opposition to the changes. The state audit notes, though, that some fees have not changed in more than 15 years. More revenues are needed to cover expenses, it says. And despite the ongoing government shutdown, the Federal Reserve begins a 2-day policy meeting today.
There is a wide expectation for another 1/4 percentage point interest rate cut, which would push down the benchmark lending rate to a range of 3.75 to 4%.
We'll see if that happens. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger says those are numbers we haven't seen in almost 3 years. She says the Fed is trying to thread the needle of making sure the economy grows fast enough to create jobs, but not so fast that it pushes inflation even higher. It's 9:03. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start the WSB 24-hour traffic center at Spinal Mark McKay.
Still haven't seen a big easing of the delays for many out of the northern suburbs. That includes the 400 ride, still tight between Alpharetta and Roswell. Northbound, recovering from an earlier crash near the North Springs MARTA station. Delays on 285 really starting to improve now that crash has cleared. They have multiple lanes knocked out near the ballpark. 285 westbound at the exit ramp to I-75 exit 20. Still going to be slow back into Sandy Springs at 400. Watching the slow traffic into Midtown, downtown, Ashley Fresca.
Staying crowded on 75-85 northbound up from 166 Langford Parkway, getting past Freedom Parkway and rolling out of Brookhaven. You see the crowd beginning below Shallowford Road, and you're on and off the brake pedal 85 south, almost all the way into town, headed toward the Beaufort Spring Connector. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Will stay cloudy, breezy, and cool today. Highs in the mid-50s. A few showers coming in tonight. Better rain chances on Wednesday. Up to an inch of rain. North Metro, less than a half. South Metro, low 49, high 55 on Wednesday. Then mostly cloudy but drying out Thursday, high 57.
51 degrees right now in Alpharetta, 51 in Riverdale, 51 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Buckle up, friends. We have an epic show in store for you today. I don't often use that four-letter word. Epic, E-P-I-C. We got an epic broadcast for you. Just a couple of minutes. Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution live with some new political poll numbers here in Georgia. You know how much I love my polls. 30 minutes are going live to the nation's capital. Day 28 of the government shutdown and complete coverage of President Trump's trip to Asia, and then a star-studded cast of guests today. First and foremost, a big local story, avian flu breakout here in Georgia. Really excited to talk to Georgia Agriculture Commissioner Tyler Harper. He is going to join us at 11 o'clock, really give the laydown of what's going on with avian flu and how it's going to impact chicken-producing farms here in the state of Georgia. CNN's anchor Abby Phillips going to join us live. John Slattery, the amazing actor from Mad Men and Sex and the City. Sydney Sweeney, who has been in the news recently. We're going to talk with her. And our good friend Deborah and coworker Moni Love is going to join us live. Now, we originally, Deborah, booked Moni because she has a new album out. Have you heard the album yet?
I listened to some yesterday, yes.
Fantastic. But Moni also has friends and relatives in Jamaica, which is about to get hammered, we hope not, by Hurricane Melissa, one of the most powerful storms ever in the Atlantic Basin. We're going to try to get someone live from Jamaica as well. I want to start the show off, Deborah, though, with a quick sports update. I've been bemoaning. I'm a big Yankees and Braves fans, and I've been bemoaning that neither of my teams made the World Series, but it's probably a good thing for the show because if the Yankees or the Braves were in the World Series, I would have gotten no sleep last night. The Braves and the Dodgers and the Blue Jays played 18 innings in Game 3 of the World Series. That's 2 full ball games until Freddie Freeman, our beloved former Brave, decided it's time to go to sleep.
Freeman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the clock strikes midnight. Freddie Freeman has ended it.
Yeah, just before 3 a.m. local time. So if the Braves were in the World Series, I'd be toast right now because there's no way I would turn off an 18-inning baseball game. But congrats to former Brave Freddie Freeman, friend of the show. He is the first person in history, Deborah, to hit 2 walk-off homers in the World Series.
Just wish it was with us.
I just wish it was us. And Shohei Ohtani got on base all 9 times. 9 times he got on base yesterday. Amazing stuff there. I do want to start, though, with President Trump's trip to Asia. We heard from President Trump and the newly minted Japanese Prime Minister.
Anytime you have any question, any doubt, anything you want, any favors you need, anything I can do to help Japan, we will be there. We are an ally at the strongest level.
Looks like a really good start to the relationship. High praise on both sides. Kristen Holmes this morning in Tokyo.
Well, look, this was probably what we expected in terms of their relationship. We know that the new prime minister had given nothing but compliments to President Trump. And in addition to that, she was a mentee of Shinzo Abe, the former prime minister when President Trump was serving his first term. And if you look back on President Trump's tenure, his first time in office, he had almost no friends and no allies on the world stage except for Shinzo Abe. So the idea that they are linked is special to President Trump, which you heard him say over and over again today. Now, this meeting and this day was really, much of it was setting the table for the big meeting at the end of this trip, which is happening with the Chinese president. President Trump wanted to shore up the relationship with Japan with this new prime minister who he'd never met face to face. He wanted to show strength, and you could hear that when he was talking about the alliance with Japan and the United States. Take a listen.
The cherished alliance between the United States and Japan is one of the most remarkable relationships in the entire world. Really, there's never been anything like it. Born out of the ashes of a terrible war, our bond has grown over 8 decades into the beautiful friendship that we have.
So what you ended up seeing here, Kate, was a show of force on 2 fronts. One was economic and one was military. When it comes to military, he announced that missiles were being sent to the Japanese defense forces. He talked about the partnership between the U.S. troops as well as Japanese troops. And then when it came to economic, you heard him announce these big deals, like a $10 billion deal from Toyota, as well as investments up to $490 billion. But one of the most important parts of all of this was a rare earths mineral deal that President Trump signed with the Prime Minister. Remember, one of the things that President Trump has been trying to do is stop the United States from being so dependent on China, who really has a monopoly over those rare earths. So anything he could do to show strength, to build up his leverage going to the meeting with the Chinese president, he was trying to do here in Japan.
Kristen Holmes with the president in Japan. We'll continue to monitor that. Again, the big calendar date, though, on President Trump's Asia trip is this Thursday, where he meets with the Chinese president. But we'll follow this Asia trip throughout the story. Speaking of President Trump, Deborah, you know I love those political polls. One popped this morning from our friends at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Joining us live to break down the numbers, our good friend Greg Bluestein. Greg, good morning. Thanks, as always, for your time.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So yeah, I was dying. I got the push alert that there's new polling numbers out, and it wasn't specific polling for a race like the governor's race or the Senate race, but it's polling nonetheless, and it's how Georgians feel about the Trump presidency and basically how the parties are doing overall. What did this poll read to you? How did this poll read to you?
Yeah, and by the way, we have plenty more polling
I
to
know.
come, including
I
those
know.
race-specific ones. But it shows that, Georgians, and this is not a surprise to many of your listeners, but they're starkly divided over President Trump. But I think that the surprising thing, in a sense, though, is how durable his support among Republicans has just always been. It shows an overwhelming number of Republicans approve of his presidency, his administration so far, his policies like National Guard troops, sending the National Guard troops to mostly Democratic-run cities, but it also, of course, shows fierce and united Democratic opposition to many of those policies as well.
Yeah, just looking at the front tab of this poll, how much do you strongly approve of the way President Trump is handling his job as a Republican? 69% of Republicans say they strongly approve of what he's doing. Just 2% of Democrats. But on the other side of that, strongly disapprove of how President Trump's handling things. 90% of Democrats and just 11% of Republicans. That 11% actually was higher number than I expected to see.
Yeah, but remember, that's a very small number. That might only be a couple. We polled 1,000 people in each of these polls. We might be talking about just a handful of people who identify as Republicans who say they're voting in the Democratic primary or the Republican primary. So we tried to do. Actually, these are two separate polls. So it's very labor intensive.
Oh boy!
From the folks over at UGA who commissioned them, but 2,000 people overall were polled. So we're trying to get a nice snapshot of where things are. And we're finding some mirror opposites, right? Democrats have a very bleak view of not just Trump, but the way the economy's going, the right track, wrong track, the way the country's going. Whereas, again, not surprisingly, but still, Republicans have a very positive outlook on all that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, hugely partisan numbers on this poll. Talk about that. You and the folks at the UGA asked the folks if the country is generally headed in the right direction or the wrong direction. What did those numbers look like?
Yeah, it's like a split screen of America right now, or really a split screen of Georgia. And we saw this, in the run-up to last year's election, too, but not as stark as it is today. Because last year, even a lot of Democrats were worried about the condition the country was in and the economic outlook. But in this poll, it found just overwhelming optimism from Republicans, not just about the direction of the country, but the direction of the state as well, whereas Democrats were bleak about the direction of the country, bleak about the economic outlook, whether the economy would be better or worse next year, but a little bit more positive about the direction of the state.
Interesting. So Democrats view the track of Georgia better than the track of the entire United States. Did Republicans also feel the same way?
Yeah, Republicans were it was almost identical numbers when you ask likely Republican primary voters about the direction of the nation and the direction of the state. And generally we see that because people tend to think the world is in trouble, but their backyard is okay. So, and things are, a lot of people think things are going better in Georgia than the rest of the country.
Yeah, and I think that's what the pulse I get too from listeners is, we're better off here in Georgia than a lot of states are around the country. Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Fresh polling from the AJC and UGA. So these aren't specific candidate polls. They aren't specific polls on the Senate or the governor's race. Those are coming. But just looking at the data you got from these 2,000 voters, do we get indication of what we might see in the midterm elections, or is it still too early to tell from these numbers?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have more specific numbers, but I can tell you there's a lot of people who are completely, I was doing interviews of some of these voters this week, and there's a lot of folks who are just completely undecided. And that's not a shock either, because we're almost, we're more than a year out from next year's election. But, some folks are tuning in now. Some folks have already just made up their minds, but there's a lot of people out there who can still be swayed. And that's good news for all these candidates, because it means that no one's out of this race yet.
Interesting. All right. I eagerly await the next release of polling data.
Yes, so do I. I'm writing those stories now.
All right. Excellent. Greg, as always, appreciate your time, my friend.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
There you go. All right. So the polls are starting to come out. And those are two 1,000 voter polls. This isn't, Family Feud where they survey 100 people. That's a pretty good sampling of registered voters, Democrat and Republicans. But, it couldn't be any more diverse on both sides. The Donald Trump approval rating. So 69% of Republicans strongly approve of how he's doing. 16% somewhat approve. And so you add those two numbers up, that's a 85% approval rating. The disapproval rating from Democrats is 93%. So it's stronger anti-Trump on the Democratic side numbers than it is pro-Trump on the Republican. It's small, but that just looking at the tabs, 90% of Democrats strongly disapprove of the way Donald Trump is handling his job as president. Shouldn't surprise folks listening, but good to see some new data from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and the University of Georgia. All right, when we come back, we're going to hit our top local stories. Right now, though, at 9:17 on the Mark Arum Show, got to check the drive around town. Let's say hello and good morning to Mr. Mike Shields.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Travel advisory continues in Lawrenceville. Crash has left only the right lane open, police tell us. Highway 316 westbound at Riverside Parkway, slow and go back to almost to Cedars Road. Think about Lawrenceville Highway or even Duluth Highway, Highway 120 out of downtown Lawrenceville. That will get you on those backups. Things going to improve on the south side perimeter. Crash cleared 285 westbound, the inner loop at I-675. Looking for new trouble possibly forming 285 eastbound right at Flat Shoals Parkway, exit 48. This report is brought to you by True Natural Gas. True Natural Gas offers low rates, excellent service, and loyalty program that called True Rewards. See for yourself at TrueNaturalGas.com, where they appreciate their customers. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler, and Wednesday at 5 on Atlanta's Morning News, Clark Howard on how high school grads can create a more profitable future for themselves and what you need to know before the day's major money announcement, too, on WSB.
Hey, y'all, it's Belinda Skelton, and many of you know I've been talking about the amazing folks at Four Seasons Home Care for quite a while now. So many of you have asked me questions about if home care is right for your aging parents. So I brought in my expert, Deborah Barron of Four Seasons Home Care. Okay, Deborah, the main thing that people ask me is, how flexible is home health care? Do I have to lock into a long contract?
There's no binding contract. We just have a service agreement that you would sign, and there's nothing that locks you into a plan. So we try to be flexible to follow the needs of your parent. Some of our clients start with just a few days a week, and I think that's a great way to ease into things.
Now, Deborah, I know that my parents needed a lot of care. They needed 24-hour around-the-clock care. But I'm sure some clients only need help preparing meals, things like that. How does Four Seasons Home Care deal with that?
Yes. So a big part of our process, and I believe the most important one, includes a home visit from our registered nurse. And she is going to sit down with your family member and go over everything and see exactly what you might need. Some people may just need a little bit of care. and others may need more in-depth, hands-on care. So they are brilliant at laying out a plan of care that's tailored for each situation. And I think you really need that kind of customization to ensure your parents get exactly what they need.
Folks, if you have aging parents who are clear that they want to age in place in the comfort of their homes, I cannot recommend enough the experts like Deborah at Four Seasons Home Care. It's 100% free and is such a crucial step in getting your parents what they need for their care and allows you, the child, to do your role, and that's just love them and be there for them. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Just a couple of random items hooked up to the Wi-Fi at the Aram household. Probably most importantly is my bird feeder camera out in the yard. Hook that up to my amazing Xfinity Wi-Fi. Obviously, all the security cameras, all of the mobile devices, tablets, laptops, smartphones, not to mention the appliances in the house. Needless to say, the Aram household couldn't run as smoothly as it does without Xfinity Internet and Xfinity Wi-Fi. Now, imagine, friends, if your Wi-Fi was a lot smarter. I want you to picture it. Devices so in sync, you'll think they're telepathic. Really smart Wi-Fi that knows when your device needs a boost and shields your kids from online threats. That is the magic of Xfinity. Imagine that. Xfinity Wi-Fi, game-changing in my household. It will be in yours as well. Want you to learn more at Xfinity.com or check out your local Xfinity store. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Tax and fees extra and subject to change.
It's Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. In Atlanta, I'm going to be that guy and start talking about Christmas before the leaves are even done falling. Because I want to share some seriously special gift ideas with you, and you should start thinking about them now. This season, D. Geller & Son is all about the magic of custom, personalized jewelry gifts. Whether it's a custom birthstone necklace and earring set, or that one-of-a-kind dream-worthy ring, with your sentiment and our expertise, we can make it happen. Let's plan ahead and make this holiday season unforgettable at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. In Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
It is not a joke. It is very serious, guys. And it is going to be something different. The figures we think will be astronomical. Yeah, they will be hard to digest when this is over.
That's Earl Cameron, a resident of Jamaica, as Hurricane Melissa continues to strengthen. Deborah, now reaching a rare Category 5 storm, winds of 180 miles an hour, cementing its status as the strongest storm on the planet this year. By the way, Jamaica's been kind of lucky when it comes to severe weather. They haven't taken a direct hit from a hurricane in over a decade, and never in the history of hurricanes that we track has ever been hit by a Category 5 storm. So Jamaica bracing for what could be just absolute destruction. UN agency describing this as a storm of the century. We're going to monitor that. We're going to try to get someone on from Jamaica to give us a live account. But just goodness gracious, thoughts and prayers. A lot of folks there on vacation, stranded there. They couldn't get out. It could be just an absolutely catastrophic situation. But updates throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. I want to update a couple of sad stories here for the working folks in Metro Atlanta. We got a couple of job layoff stories. We'll start with General Motors. They're closing a Georgia office. I didn't know they had a Georgia office. What exactly was it, and why is it closing?
Yeah, I think when we think GM, we think of the old plant that was on 285, right? Well, GM plans to close the Georgia Innovation Center, and that's over in Roswell, and that will affect about 325 people. So this is a technology center.
Okay.
All like the new bells and whistles that goes into your like the dash cameras, the touch screens, all the new stuff, that's what they work on at this branch of the GM. So it's not like a plant that you think of when you think of an automotive plant.
It's an auxiliary branch.
Right, but it's still 300 people that are going to lose their jobs.
And those are probably really good jobs, too, right? You
yeah.
work in the innovative section of General Motors. I'm embarrassed that I didn't even know that office was up in Roswell.
I didn't either. So it's all part of their restructuring, and the employees will be offered some severance benefits.
Okay. Do we know when that closure is set? Does it give a date?
No specific date.
All right. But, I mean, sad news. If we're coming up on Christmas, and you've had that job with General Motors, I imagine really good benefits, and now that office here in Georgia is going to close. I had never heard of this company. I guess it's because they make baby clothes. I guess is that what they do? Yeah. So Carter's, another local company, is going to be slashing some jobs.
Yeah, Carter's is big. Anyone with children knows Carter's. I didn't know they were based out of Atlanta, though, but they are also going to cut about 15% of their office staff, which, again, is about 300 jobs just here in the metro. And this goes along with closing about 150 stores across the nation, and they're directly blaming tariffs. They just said it cuts into their profitability. There are 4 countries that design things and make things for Carter's are Vietnam, Cambodia, Bangladesh, India, and they've all had huge tariff increases, and the company is trying to absorb some of it. And last year they paid about $110 million in duties. Well, that's gone up, and so their revenue has gone down. They've went from, or their income this year so far has been $11 million. Last year it was 58. So that's a huge.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a huge number for them. So they're saying by restructuring all this, cutting workforce, it'll save them about $35 million a year.
So what is the total? Does it say the total number of folks that are going to lose their job because
about
of
300,
Man.
just in the metro. But then they're going to close stores all across the country.
I wonder if in that restructuring, again, obviously I know nothing about children's clothing, but if they can find domestic producers of some of the things that they import, obviously you're going to pay more for an American-made product than you will one from Taiwan or China.
But how quickly can they turn it around, and how quickly can they get those orders in? I mean, there's all of that too.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad. That's sad news. Yeah, we've been focused on all the folks at the federal level with the government shutdown and all the furloughs and everything, but now starting to see private businesses like General Motors and Carter's cut jobs there. Not great. Not great, Bob, as the kids say. All right, when we come back after news, weather, and traffic, we're going to go live to the nation's capital. Day 28 of the government shutdown. Do we see any progress there? And Natalie Brand from CBS is going to update us on President Trump's Asia trip. Signed some pretty big deals with Tokyo, including more investment from Japan in the United States and rare earth minerals. So Natalie Brand's going to break it all down for us. Then Abby Phillip, anchor from CNN, is going to join us. Sydney Sweeney, yet to come. John Slattery from Mad Men. Love him. He's joining us live. And our coworker, Moni Love, just dropped a new EP, and she's got friends and family in Jamaica. So really packed show for you for the rest of the day. Social medias, up and active, at Mark Arum, MarkArum, and at WSB Radio.
When you come home after being away, you see your home with fresh eyes. And eventually, you'll roll up to your old garage door and finally notice how chipped and faded that rusty old slab really is. But that's the first thing people see when they come visit. A 250 square foot bent aluminum lime green garage door that also squeaks. Welcome to our home. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our design consultants can help you find a strong, quiet, modern garage door that anyone would be proud to come home to. Modern materials that won't crack, dent, or fade. In contemporary styles that showcase your home's design. Call Mo Better Garage and let us show you just how joyful arriving back home can be.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Jed Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top story, we are tracking Hurricane Melissa this morning, which has quickly strengthened into one of the strongest storms ever in the Atlantic Basin. It's set to bring winds of more than 170 miles per hour as it bears down on Jamaica. Should make landfall at any time.
The place where they are most concerned about that rainfall, and of course, is up in those mountainous areas. The drainage system, the gullies, the storm drains down below are not in good condition in some places.
Reporter Jason Allen says it could dump more than 2 feet of rain on Jamaica and bring devastating storm surge of more than 10 feet to the island. We'll be tracking the storm as it makes landfall later this morning. Seeing effects of the ongoing government shutdown today at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, of all places. Air traffic controllers missing their first full paycheck today because of the stalemate, although they must continue to come to work. Some of those workers handing out leaflets to travelers this morning. Maximilian Crawford with the Air Traffic Controllers Association says the campaign's about delivering a message to the public.
We live and breathe safety, and to have this factor in of not getting paid added on top of working our job 6 days a week, up to 10 hours a day, 60 hours a week. We just want to get paid, essentially.
So far, the U.S. Senate does not have a planned vote this week on a budget bill. Hundreds of workers in Roswell are set to lose their jobs following an announcement from General Motors.
The automaker says it's going to be shuttering its IT Innovation Center in Roswell that opened back in 2013. In a statement to WSB, a spokesperson says they've made the difficult decision to close the Georgia Innovation Center as they begin, quote, redefining our site strategy and unifying our technical teams in targeted hubs for better collaboration. As a result, about 325 jobs are going to be cut by the end of the year. Some of those workers will receive options to transfer or work remotely, while others will receive severance packages. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
The Alpharetta City Council moves forward with installing new innovative lights in the downtown area, but because of concerns about the aesthetics, they'll only do a test run, 1 or 2 fixtures for now. City Manager Chris Lagerblum says if the council greenlights a full order, they will enhance safety.
I do believe that we would be very satisfied. Number one, the lighting that we would see, and also the benefit of the enhanced data collection in our downtown.
Yeah, they're designed to give important information to law enforcement with cameras and other technology inside the fixture. The plan is to install them along part of Highway 9. And a new study could impact your daily walk schedule.
A study in the UK found that it's best to take one long walk daily rather than taking multiple short walks throughout the day. People who walked 15 minutes or longer daily had a lower risk of death and a lower risk of cardiovascular disease than people who took shorter walks.
Now, Michael George reports even those who are less active but still take one long walk a day showed a lower risk of heart issues, who are urged to get at least 150 minutes of physical activity each and every week to stay healthy. It is 9:33 as we check your money. Of course, the Federal Reserve starting a 2-day meeting today, expected to cut rates tomorrow. And Dow futures are way up. S&P, NASDAQ as well. As the bell rings this morning, S&P is actually up more than a half percentage point at the moment. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. Starting the WSB 24-hour traffic center, Mike Shields.
Got a new crash on the JM South Side perimeter of DeKalb Fire. Just pulling up with this right now. Just the left lane blocked, but maybe 2 left lanes can be blocked soon. 285 eastbound the outer loop at Flat Shoals Parkway. Exit 48, so delays will grow as you try to work your way to I-20, the East Freeway. Speaking of delays, still got them out of Lawrenceville with a crash working Highway 316 westbound at Riverside Parkway. At one point, only the right lane was open. Those delays have eased, but they start back at High Hope Road. You can always use Sugarloaf Parkway as an alternate out of Lawrenceville getting to I-85. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. High today around 57 with a cloudy sky. Will stay breezy as well. A few stray showers possible, especially late. Better rain chances Wednesday, low 49, high 55. And then mostly cloudy but dry on Thursday, 20% chance of a stray shower. Thursday's low 45, high 57.
51 degrees right now in Smyrna, 50 in Duluth, 51 in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10, breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
It's not as bad as it could be. He's your co-pilot for the ride home. Hey, the ladies are at home. Let's smoke cigars.
Eric Von Hessler.
Some sort of cultural affirmation. Yes, I am this kind of man.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I have always had a great love of Japan and a great respect of Japan.
President Trump meeting with the Prime Minister of Japan. Coming up next, we go live to D.C., the latest on the president's Asia trip and day 28 of the government shutdown. 2 minutes away on the Mark Arum Show.
Just because there are so many window choices doesn't mean they're all good choices.
All windows are not created equal.
It's Ted and Jonathan from North Georgia Replacement Windows. And vinyl composite windows? They're a thing of the past.
Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows are beautiful, not big and bulky, and 8 times stronger than vinyl.
Experience the difference at your home or in our Alpharetta showroom.
Infinity from Marvin replacement windows, yeah.
You know, every year there's that one house on the street that looks amazing. Well, this year it is mine. I'm Chris Chandler. Wise Guys Pro Wash keeps my home clean. Now they make it shine this holiday season. They install lights along my roof line so cleanly that even in daylight you barely notice them. Till I'm ready to plug them in, the whole house lights up then. Wise Guys Lights handles everything. Install, maintenance, and takedown. And right now, first-time customers who mention me, Chris Chandler, save $150 when installed before October 31st. Spots are filling fast. Don't wait. Book now at wiseguyslights.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
She's slow and she's wide. So all areas of the island are expected to feel some impact.
That's Esther Pinnock, Jamaican Red Cross Communications Director, getting confirmation, Deborah. We are going to indeed go live to someone in Jamaica.
Yes, we have someone in Jamaica.
As they brace for Hurricane Melissa. Welcome back to this action-packed edition of the Mark Arum Show. Joining us live in the nation's capital from CBS News, our good friend Natalie Brand. Natalie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Mark. I'm well. How are you?
I am, I'm swamped with all this breaking news.
We are swamped.
I guess let's start with day 28 of the government shutdown. Any cracks on either side? Any talks expected? What's the latest with the shutdown?
I guess we will find out later today. One interesting note, the Vice President, Vance, is planning to visit a lunch of GOP senators today, so we'll see if anything comes from that. They have other topics to cover beyond the shutdown, believe it or not. But again, this is what everyone, is focused on, from the federal workers who are not getting paid or having to go to work without pay to the more than 40 million Americans who rely on federal food assistance, which could come to a halt this weekend. The USDA saying, quote, the well has run dry for SNAP funding. And so the impacts are certainly growing with each hour, with each day. But, big picture, Democrats, Republicans continue to kind of point the finger at each other, remain dug in on their positions. We could have another attempt to vote on a short-term funding measure to move that forward. But, with no real progress, that would be expected to fail. The question and what I'm watching is, is there a strategy to pass some standalone bills, to fund SNAP or pay federal workers? Republicans and Democrats remain divided on those standalone bills as well.
November 1st, a very important date. Obviously, Natalie, we've got that's open enrollment for Obamacare, open enrollment for private health care, and the end of the SNAP benefits. If they even pass this CR, that only takes us through November what? I mean, it'll be a short-term, stopgap, really.
Yeah, and that's why there's also a conversation to try to push out that date farther, because they realize that we're nearly a month into the shutdown, and so the date that was initially put forward by and passed by the House is now kind of not as relevant. And so really no one wants to be going through this again with the holidays approaching ahead of the end of the year. And I have to tell you, here in Washington, we've seen federal workers turn to food banks. Yesterday, I was at an effort that was stood up by the World Central Kitchen. That's the nonprofit founded by celebrity chef Jose Andres. He is now feeding federal workers a free hot lunch every day until there is a breakthrough. And in speaking to some of these furloughed federal workers who are trying to figure out how to pay their mortgage, child care, car payments, all the bills that accumulate over the course of a month, with now 2 missed paychecks in many cases, they are just anxious, exasperated, running out of patience. I asked one worker, what is the breaking point? And she's like, it's arrived. This is the breaking point.
Natalie Brand from CBS joining us here live on the Mark Arum Show. We've seen food banks set up also at airports around the country, feeding TSA workers that are not getting paid and the air traffic controllers who will not get a paycheck today. Historically, it's been, the air travel industry that has ended these work stoppages. Could continued delays or lack of air traffic controllers or TSA agents finally be the thing that gets both sides to the negotiating table here?
You would think that it would have happened when we saw, delays and the staffing shortage triggers that have been happening at airports around the country. But at this point, that has not yet happened. And we're getting closer to holiday travel. So maybe that's the pressure point. But in the past, all of these different sources of pressure that would have, prompted lawmakers to get in a room and talk to each other and break the impasse, they don't seem to be really having the same effect this time around. Something kind of feels different with this shutdown. And, with President Trump right now in Asia finishing up a major 3-country swing through Asia, it's hard to see how a breakthrough happens in the next day or so. But again, we'll see if anything comes from this lunch with the vice president.
Yeah, we'll be watching that. I'm glad you mentioned Asia.
I have always had a great love of Japan and a great respect of Japan.
President Trump meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister. Any big headlines out of their meeting, and what's next on President Trump's travel schedule?
Yeah, this was her diplomatic debut, and she and the President Trump, appear to kind of be fast friends. Following a full day, he's now back at the hotel because they are pretty much a day ahead. But during his visit to Japan, they had a sit-down meeting together. They visited the USS George Washington, and the headline out of the visit is a trade deal, with President Trump saying that Japan has committed to new investment in the U.S. or in U.S. industry to the tune of over $500 billion, though no details of those investments not yet clear. The administration also saying Japan will open its market to American rice, cars, and defense equipment. In return, the U.S. is lowering its tariff on Japanese goods to 15%. And notably, Mark, heading into the big meeting later this week with Chinese President Xi, the U.S. and Japan signed an agreement for cooperation on rare earth minerals. Of course, those critical minerals, that's everything from important for everything from electronics to defense equipment. China has kind of a monopoly on the processing of the world supply. So President Trump making it clear he's trying to bolster, relationships with other countries and allies around rare earth and these critical minerals to try and counter China.
Yeah, and we'll watch President Trump's meeting this Thursday with the Chinese president as well. Natalie Brand, CBS. Natalie, as always, great stuff. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, interesting. So we talked about, we haven't talked about yet, so these food banks setting up at airports around the country. I don't know if there's one at Hartsfield-Jackson yet, but, trying to feed those that need food because they haven't been paid. And this story really fascinated me because we have, these private donations. We try to donate to the Atlanta Community Food Bank or whatever. Natalie mentioned that celebrity chef feeding the furloughed federal workers, which is amazing. But I've never seen a public company take steps, but apparently DoorDash is doing that. They're running some sort of a program to help feed those that need food right now?
Yeah, DoorDash is going to distribute about 1 million meals and waive delivery fees for 300,000 grocery orders placed by SNAP recipients. So it's called their Emergency Food Response, and it's going to run through the entire month of November. And they're also going to partner with other food banks and pantries so that, if in case DoorDash might not come to your area or something, a food pantry is close there, they're going to work with those pantries. And then retailers like Sprouts, Dollar General, Hy-Vee, Wegmans, depending on what part of the country you're in, they're going to work with all these companies to help make the donations and the deliveries, because a lot of those places do deliveries as well.
And I wonder if, since DoorDash is doing this, will this spur Uber Eats to do the same? I just thought of something, Deborah. If you can, maybe for tomorrow's show or later in the week, as the government shutdown continues and the end of SNAP benefits, how this might impact or not impact the Meals on Wheels service, which we're all familiar with. I want to know if that is impacted by any of this. All right, quick break. When we come back, CNN anchor and author Abby Phillips going to join us live, and we'll update the big story, including Hurricane Melissa, Cat 5 bearing down on Jamaica. Right now, let's check the ride around town live with the latest. Mike Shields.
Hey, Mark, much better news on the south side perimeter as we speak. A crash that was in 2 left lanes about 10 minutes ago just moved to the right shoulder within the last few minutes. 285 eastbound the outer loop at Flat Shoals, exit 48. Sluggish as you leave Boulder Crest Road, exit 51, but those delays will improve. Also just had a crash clear out of a right lane 75 southbound before Hudson Bridge Road, exit 224 in Henry County. And still slow out of Lawrenceville. Long-standing crash still has at least a lane blocked. Highway 316 westbound at Riverside Parkway. Delays start back around High Hope Road. This report is brought to you by Total Joint Specialists. Is hip or knee pain slowing you down? Find relief with internationally renowned hip and knee care right here in Georgia. Visit TotalJointSpecialist.com today and get back to doing what you love. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
If you have the WSB radio app.
If you have the WSB
all
app.
the notifications you
If
need.
you have the WSB app.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB app.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed right here on 95.5 WSB. Well, Chris, as you know, time just keeps on ticking. We're putting another year under our belt, so it seems like a really good time to take stock of our financial lives and put together that plan that's built to last.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team. And we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
When you come home after being away, you see your home with fresh eyes. And eventually, you'll roll up to your old garage door and finally notice how chipped and faded that rusty old slab really is. But that's the first thing people see when they come visit. A 250 square foot bent aluminum lime green garage door that also squeaks. Welcome to our home. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our design consultants can help you find a strong, quiet, modern garage door that anyone would be proud to come home to. Modern materials that won't crack, dent, or fade. In contemporary styles that showcase your home's design. Call Mo Better Garage and let us show you just how joyful arriving back home can be.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Palmetto bugs, water bugs, smoky browns, German roaches. Well, a roach is a roach by any name, and you want them gone. Mark Aram here for Breda Pest Management. They protect your home inside and out. It's the roaches inside you want gone, so let Breda in and keep those vile, nasty, crunchy roaches out. So gross. BredaPest.com. BREDA Pest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the costs of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, the point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
They've been giving us care packages that have like cups of noodles, tuna sandwiches. Continue to pray for Jamaica.
That's Marnice Stewart, a U.S. tourist in Montego Bay. She is from St. Louis, stranded there in Jamaica as Hurricane Melissa, a Category 5 hurricane, bears down on Jamaica. It's been 10 years since Jamaica's been hit by a hurricane. Confirmation, Deborah, that next hour we will go live to Jamaica and speak to a resident there to see exactly what it's like right now as the whole island braces for that catastrophic, we hope not deadly, hurricane. This is more from Marnie Stewart, again, a U.S. tourist. She's from St. Louis, Missouri, but she's stranded in Montego Bay right now.
We just came to have a good time, and now we're kind of stuck here.
And this is Earl Cameron. I played this earlier, but I think it's worth replaying. He is a resident of Jamaica on how dire the situation seems to be right now.
It is not a joke. It is very serious, guys, and it is going to be something different. The figures we think will be astronomical. Yeah, they will be hard to digest when this is over.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers, obviously, to everyone in Jamaica, and we're going to go live there next half hour to get the very latest. I do want to update before we get to CNN's Abby Phillip. What's going on with the farmers here in the United States? Farm worries continue. The Trump administration's plan to bring down the cost of beef, raising concern among American cattle ranchers. CBS's Lena Zach reports ranchers fear the plan will eat into their already dwindling profits.
In the supermarket, the price for meat has skyrocketed over the past year. Ground beef up nearly 13%, steak up 16%.
You have to look at the total supply chain
Brian Whalen is the CEO of the Iowa Cattlemen's Association. He says Americans won't really see grocery savings from increasing beef imports.
It really only is going to be about 2.5% of our total beef supply. It's really not going to make a substantial difference.
Yeah, we'll update the markets as well and what's going on with the farmers. Coming up at 11 o'clock, we're going to talk to the agricultural commissioner here in the state of Georgia, not only about the struggle of farmers here in Georgia, but the recent breakout of avian flu. Our next guest, I've been following her meteoric rise from afar. Very happy to have her joining us live on the show, CNN's Abby Phillip. Abby, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
New book out, A Dream Deferred, Jesse Jackson and the Fight for Black Political Power. When it comes to Jesse Jackson, I think there's a lot of preconceived notions, right? Some look at him as a civil rights hero, others as a rabble rouser. What drew you to write this book about Reverend Jesse Jackson?
For all the things that you just said, I mean, I think there's so much that people know about Jesse Jackson. But this chapter, the part where he ran for president and came really close to being the Democratic nominee, is one of the parts of his legacy that I think people don't know that much about. And it started out with so many people telling me just how significant he was, just how much he paved the way for not just Barack Obama, who did end up being the first black president, but also for people like Bernie Sanders. I mean, I don't think a lot of people think about Bernie Sanders and Jesse Jackson as being anywhere near the same lane in terms of what they stand for. But the truth is, there probably would not have been a Bernie Sanders without a Jesse Jackson. And I thought that was just a really intriguing question to look at these campaigns and ask, what did he really mean to politics today? And I think the answer is he meant quite a lot.
Is there anything, Abby, that you discovered that you did know that surprised you in researching this book?
Well, I learned a lot about the many ups and downs of this campaign and also about his life. I mean, I knew that he came out of the South, but I didn't know how much of a kind of almost, meteoric rise that he had from not really knowing that his father was his next door neighbor who had a whole different family to ending up by Dr. King's side in his early 20s. I was just really kind of amazed by how much he accomplished before he even turned 30. He was a national political figure in his late 20s. He was running basically a massive civil rights organization at that time. And then when he ran for president, that was already more than 20 years into his public life, and he was one of the most famous people in the country and ran a very scrappy outsider campaign. So there's so much about that journey from Greenville, South Carolina to running for the presidency that I think really is a fascinating picture of a very complex man who had a lot of ups and downs and a lot of interesting moments and was there for a lot of history.
Yeah, and here in Atlanta, the birthplace of the civil rights movement, if you go to the museums, or you'll always see pictures of, John Lewis and Andrew Young, and Jesse Jackson's always there. So certainly a central figure. The book, A Dream Deferred, Jesse Jackson and the Fight for Black Political Power, available everywhere yet, Abby? He says with a question mark.
It is out. Yes, it is available everywhere. You get books online, in stores, on Audible, or wherever you get your audiobooks, so you can get it anywhere you like to read books.
Abby, appreciate it. Best of luck with the book.
Thank you.
There you go, Abby Phillip from CNN. Yeah, Jesse Jackson, people listening now, you have a thought that jumps into your mind, good, bad, or indifferent when it comes to Jesse Jackson. Very curious, though. I will read that book, A Dream Deferred. All right, news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, updating our top local stories live to Jamaica as well. Monitoring Hurricane 5, Category 5, Melissa, next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At Butler Lexus of South Atlanta, you're their priority. From personalized service to luxury amenities, they make sure you feel valued every step of the way. Buying or servicing, your experience matters. Call 800-NEW-LEXUS. Butler Lexus South Atlanta, the standard of amazing.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus?
Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today. 404-208-3300. That's 404-208-3300.
Annuities not advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at trajanwealth.com.
I'm Channel 2's Lori Wilson.
I'm Fred Blankenship. Channel 2 Action News this morning is the best place to be for breaking news.
So much is happening, and we're on it. Our reporters are the first to know in your community, bringing you fresh information, the best video.
We know you depend on us. It's why we're everywhere live to prepare you for the day ahead.
In the morning, see what's new.
Don't miss a day. Join us. Channel 2 Action News this morning, 4:30 to 7.
My holiday lights are up, the ladder's in the garage, and I'm safe inside. Wise Guys Lights handles everything, install, maintenance, and takedown, and first-time customers save $150 when they mention me, Chris Chandler, before October 31st. Don't wait, book now at wiseguyslights.com.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Our top local story is happening right now. A manhunt underway here in Atlanta for 26-year-old Farron Banks.
He should be considered armed and dangerous. Please do not approach.
That's Chuck McPhillamy with Marietta Police. He says Banks is wanted in the murder of his stepfather, 58-year-old Michael Jackson, who was found shot at an apartment complex off Cobb Parkway. Police found Banks' car here in southwest Atlanta, but they have not yet located him. Anybody who sees him or has information on his whereabouts are being urged to call 911. Your weather for today, cloudy and breezy with an afternoon high of 57, says Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz. Hurricane Melissa lashing Jamaica with fierce winds and rain. That's the sound. Melissa expected to hit Jamaica soon, and this one is one of the most powerful ones on Earth this year and the strongest ever on record to threaten Jamaica. It's a Category 5. And Ikonaki is in Kingston, Jamaica this morning.
Hurricane Melissa bringing life-threatening winds up to 175 miles per hour, up to 40 inches of rain, and up to 13 feet of storm surge. At least 3 already killed during storm preps on the island. Air Force hurricane hunters trying to fly into the eye of the storm. The turbulence so severe, they were forced to turn back.
Now the storm is traveling very slowly. 7 deaths already being blamed on this storm, 3 in Jamaica as they were getting ready for the storm to approach. This just in, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth just posting on X that the U.S. has carried out 3 strikes on 4 alleged drug-running boats in the Eastern Pacific. Killing 14 people, there is 1 survivor. Bond denied for a Douglas County couple facing charges of extreme child abuse involving their baby.
William King and Amber Rivera are behind bars after their 5-month-old daughter is found with 30 broken bones in Lithia Springs. Prosecutors say the infant, who was born prematurely, suffered fractures to her ribs, arms, legs, and wrists. The parents, both 20 years old, told investigators the baby girl was injured in a car crash, which was never reported. The couple now faces at least 18 charges, including child cruelty, aggravated battery, and obstruction. The infant is now in the custody of DFACS. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
This is new since Atlanta's Morning News. Sandy Springs-based UPS announcing it's eliminating 34,000 jobs this year. Those job cuts are part of a larger ongoing company turnaround plan and were reported along with strong third quarter earnings that beat what analysts had been expecting. Amazon expected to start laying off as many as 30,000 corporate workers starting today. Tony Waterman reporting that would be almost 10% of the company's corporate workforce.
Amazon CEO Andy Jassy had warned about the potential for layoffs over the summer. In a memo to employees, he said the company would start deploying artificial intelligence across its operations and that white-collar jobs would be impacted.
And meanwhile, Paramount has announced that it will lay off about 1,000 employees effective tomorrow, with another 1,000 jobs expected to be cut in the near future. Let's take a look at your money. We're in the green this morning. The Dow's up almost 0.5%. NASDAQ also in positive territory, and so is the S&P, but only slightly. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Ashley Frasca in the WSB 24-hour Traffic Center.
Good morning, Sabrina. Still a little bit of volume for folks headed between Duluth and Norcross. 85 south, really only slow in spots beginning before Pleasant Hill for that ride down to Jimmy Carter Boulevard, and a new delay on 85 northbound trying to pass Pleasant-Dale Road. We've got some construction as you make the transition out of Fulton County into Gwinnett. Crews are working Holcomb Bridge at Spalding Drive. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. We'll stay cloudy, breezy, and cool today. Highs in the mid-50s. A few showers coming in tonight. Better rain chances on Wednesday. Up to an inch of rain. North Metro, less than a half. South Metro, low 49, high 55 on Wednesday. Then mostly cloudy but drying out Thursday, high 57.
It is 51 degrees right now in Tucker and Johns Creek here in Midtown Atlanta. We have 52 degrees. More news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Tuesday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:04, 4 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The gang all here today. Deborah, executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Drip screens your calls. Just a couple of minutes, we're going to talk to actress Sydney Sweeney. At the top of the hour, we're going to talk to the Georgia Agricultural Commissioner, Tyler J. Harper, about the outbreak of avian flu here in the state of Georgia and how it might impact us. Right now, though, we continue our team coverage of Hurricane Melissa. That's what it sounds like in Jamaica right now. Sustained winds up to 175 miles an hour. Joining us live from Kingston, Jamaica, brother of the Honorable Shelley Winter, it's Bobby Winter. Bobby, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm very honored to talk to Shelley Winter's brother. Bobby, I got to ask, how are you holding up? What are things like right now in Kingston?
Well, Kingston had a lot of rain and wind, heavy rain and wind last night, but it's sort of slowed down right now. In fact, the hurricane is headed towards the west of the island, around 60 or 70 miles west of us. So we should only be getting the outer bands here in Kingston. So right now, there's a little lull right now. I did see a couple persons walking on the street. But we expect it to pick up a bit later today when the hurricane makes landfall. So out west, closer to Montego Bay and closer to Negril, will be much harder hit than here in Kingston.
Yeah, it looks like Kingston, you might be protected kind of on a bay there, and you said you'll just get hit with the outer bands. That being said, what are the authorities in Kingston telling you to do to prepare for this hurricane? All right,
so this hurricane has been taking a long time to get here, so there's been a lot of preparation. I think kudos to the authorities. We have over 100 shelters, and persons have been moving into the shelters. Some a little more reluctant than others. One of the most interesting areas is Port Royal, where Captain Morgan and his band used to be.
Yes.
That area, the persons in Port Royal actually, every year there's a hurricane, they refuse to move. We tried forced removal, but they resisted it. They say they're okay, but for the most part, in most other areas, persons in low-lying areas have been moving into shelters. So the shelters are getting filled up, and I think persons can still go there now, even at this time.
Bob, you mentioned this is such a powerful, slow-moving storm. Do you still have power now, and do you anticipate to keep having electricity during the storm, or do you think that's going to eventually go away?
Right. So I have power and I have internet in Kingston here. There are some places in Kingston. A colleague of mine, she said she lost power last night. So there are portions of Kingston that are without power right now. I suspect towards the western part of the island where the hurricane is headed, they would have already cut power, expecting the hit out there, because Category 5 is a very strong hurricane. We've never had this before. We're expecting a lot of damage and a lot of agricultural damage in particular. We believe that the hotels will hold up because their infrastructure is good and can recover fairly quickly after the hurricane. But agriculture will be hit. We had a hurricane last year and hit the same area, Hurricane Beryl, but that was a Category 4, and this is a Category 5. So just as the farmers were more or less getting back on their feet, here this comes again.
Bobby Winter, brother of the iconic Shelley Winter, joining us live from Kingston, Jamaica, here on the Mark Arum Show. Bobby, when a hurricane comes to Georgia or Metro Atlanta, everyone runs to the store and buys bread and milk and bottled water. Is it a similar situation where folks in Jamaica running to the stores to stock up on supplies?
I tell you what, we were told that rains would have started last week, Wednesday night. And so we've been going to the store from about Tuesday. And in fact, many persons said they are already run out of their stocks because the hurricane took so long to get here. It was very crazy. From Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the supermarkets were inundated with buyers trying to get last minute stuff.
But you're good. You're stocked up. You personally have enough food.
I am fairly stocked up. Yeah,
good,
I'm fairly stocked up. Even if we are out of power. So I'm okay.
Bobby,
but I think by about tomorrow, I suspect by tomorrow afternoon, we may have some after effects, but I think by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, Thursday, everything should be okay, at least as far as the hurricane is concerned. Then now the recovery will start at that time.
Bob, we've heard from some American tourists trapped in Jamaica. They weren't able to get back to the United States. Where are the most of the touristy spots in Jamaica? Are they in Kingston or are they on the west side that are more in trouble?
Right. Most of them are on the west side and the northern side. Well, Ocho Rios is on the northern side, and I understand it might go by Ocho Rios when it's exiting the island tomorrow or tonight. But I think the main tourist areas of Ocho Rios on the north, Montego Bay and Negril on the northwest and west. The hurricane structures should be okay. The hotel structure should be okay.
Bobby, final question. I'm so sorry. I was just going to ask. Obviously, please keep us posted. Let us know how you're doing. But before I let you go, any embarrassing stories about your brother Shelley that you want to share with the listeners?
Okay, I think I've shared this one already. When he was very young, we had to take the subway downtown, and I was about 12 or 14, 14 or so, no, 17 or so, and he was 5 or 6. And so we had only one token, and we decided we're going to use the same token for both of us to get through the turnstile. So then we went in, and then when I was going in, I went back out, and he laughed at me. And there I was inside, and he was outside the turnstile. And I didn't know what to do, because if I went out, we had no money to come in. And if I stayed in, I don't know what would happen to him. And I felt he was laughing, and I felt embarrassed. Luckily, somebody came and helped us out, and he got it. But that was his sense of humor from very young.
Yeah, unbelievable. Hey, Bobby, stay safe. Thanks so much for your time. Best of luck to everyone on Jamaica as they brace for this Category 5 hurricane. And please stay safe, my friend.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Have a good day.
You as well. Bobby Winter, brother of Shelley Winter. I had to ask an embarrassing Shelley story.
They definitely talk the same.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And I refrained from, when Shelley was younger, his nickname was Shelley with the big belly. I figured I wouldn't embarrass him that much, but wow, that was really cool to have him. So Montego Bay, Kingston looks to be just getting the outer bands. It's the tourist attractions that might get the worst. Obviously, updates on Hurricane Melissa throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. All right, shifting gears dramatically, joining us now on the show, actress Sydney Sweeney. Sydney, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Good morning. Thank you. How are you doing?
Excellent. I'm very excited about your new project coming up, and I want to go in depth on that in just a second. But I had no idea
until I started researching this interview that you were one of my favorite movies of all time, Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I was blown away. You were unrecognizable in that role from what you look like now to back then.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun transforming for roles.
Yeah, so I got to ask for. I can't be a spoiler, right? That movie came out a while ago, but the location where your scenes were in was kind of a dingy house. Was it really as bad as it seemed on screen?
It was actually really cool. It was a whole set that Quentin had built. I think it was like an hour and a half north of LA. I forget the exact location, but he built the entire Manson family ranch and built the exterior, the interior, and it felt very real, and we were all just running around it. So it definitely wasn't as dingy because it was brand new, but it looked like it was dingy and all.
Yeah, it looked horrific. I was like deplorable living conditions there. I would imagine young actress and you get scenes with Brad Pitt. That must have been pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. It was actually, I turned 21 on that set. My birthday was when I was filming.
So you turned 21 while filming a Quentin Tarantino movie with Brad Pitt. I think that's a pretty epic 21st birthday. That's pretty awesome.
It definitely was one for the book.
So I'm excited about your new movie because I know all about Christy Martin, legendary female boxer who's had a remarkable life, highs and lows. Tell us about Christy and what made you want to get into this role.
Well, I mean, you know what's interesting is when I first read it, I actually didn't know who Christy was. And I think right there was one of my main reasons where I knew I had to be a part of this, because her story is so incredibly inspiring. And I was like, I had to make sure that this was told, and I'm really excited for everyone to see it.
I mean, my generation, we know Christy Martin. Like, she was the first preeminent female boxer. Are there any boxing scenes in this movie? And if so, did you have to train to become a boxer?
I did. So there's about 17 fights in this film, and something that's really cool is every single fight you see are actual fights that Christy had. So I not only trained to learn how to fight, I trained to learn how to fight exactly like Christy did in those moments and in those fights. So every combination is taken from those combinations in that exact fight. And I actually grew up kickboxing, grappling, so I knew the world, I knew the terminology, I knew how to fight. So it was really fun being able to dive back into that.
That's pretty amazing. Now, did you get to meet Christy before filming or during filming to get any pointers on how to play her?
I did. She was with us in pre-production, and she came and hung out with us on set all the time, especially when we were doing the fighting sequences. I'd be in the ring throwing punches, and I'd hear her down in my corner yelling up at me, hit her with a left hook. And I felt like I was in a real fight.
Were there any mishaps in the ring? Like, did you actually get knocked pretty good during one of these fights?
Oh, yeah. So one of my main things going into it was I actually wanted to fight. I didn't want to have to use stunt double. I wanted to make sure that it felt real, that we were able to live in these scenes. It didn't have to be on the back of my head. Didn't have to be super choppy and cut away from it. And so once you watch it, you'll see, you see it connect with my face, and you see me connect with the other girl's face. And we had some bloody noses, bruises, concussion, icing my face every single night when we were fighting. It was full on.
Crazy. Sydney Sweeney joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. The movie Christy debuts in theaters nationwide on November 7th. I don't want to spoil Christy's life story because that's what the movie's about, but does it get into what happens in her personal life after her boxing career at all?
It does. I don't want to spoil anything either, so this is definitely a very tricky conversation, but it does. It goes all the way into what you would know it goes into.
Yeah. So just say she had an eclectic life outside of the ring. We could just say that. And
yeah, she fought multiple fights, not only in the ring, but in her personal life as well.
Yeah. Oh, I'm really excited. How did this even come about? Because as you mentioned, your generation had never heard of Christy Martin before.
No. And, I've been circling and chasing a few different stories about women fighters. I was having conversations with Ronda Rousey, and then my agent actually sent me this script and was like, this is out there. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. I wanted to be a part of it, whether as an actor or producer. I just really wanted to make sure the story was told.
Yeah, and my family's has been in the boxing game for a long time, so I'm very familiar with the Christy story. Before I let you go, I got to ask you about White White Lotus. Phenomenal series. Did you know that it was going to continue to have success, or even that there would be a second season of White Lotus when you were doing it?
I mean, when we did it, it was always done as a limited series, but I'm so glad that Mike White's had the success that he's had with this show. He's such a great person, and he's such a fun creative, and I'm just cheering him on every single new season, and I'm so glad that people are enjoying it.
And you've watched the seasons 2 and 3 that come out after yours? You watched them all?
Honestly, no.
I love the honesty.
I haven't.
All right.
I've been super busy. I'm so bad at watching a lot of TV. If I do have time to watch TV, I'm watching like SVU or HGTV. But I'm always cheering him on and a super big fan.
Fair enough. Sydney, it's a pleasure. The movie is called Christy. It's in theaters November 7th, just a couple of weeks. So best of luck with that, Sydney, and thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
For those that know, Christy Martin had a crazy, she's still alive, but she's had a crazy life in and outside the ring. Christy, I'm going to definitely watch that. All right, let's go check traffic. We're a bit late to check in live with the incomparable Ashley Frasca.
A little bit of volume as you travel between Alpharetta and Roswell, rolling 400 southbound, trying to get past Holcomb Bridge. And speaking of Holcomb Bridge, there are eastbound delays trying to get into Gwinnett County. Crews are in the right lane doing some construction at Spalding. Traffic brought to you by Staples. Have you heard the Staples Easy button is back with even more easy? Press it for custom print shipping services, even passport photos. Staples, that was easy. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
We've all been
Jam
there.
starting at Langford Parkway.
Counting the minutes before we know we're going to be late because we couldn't count on a traffic app.
Jammed from I-85 down towards Ponce.
There is one thing you can count on. Triple team traffic on WSB.
Stay slow once you're inside the perimeter as well.
We know the highways. We know the streets. And we know the shortcuts.
75 northbound heading up to Cobb County through Marietta and Kennesaw.
And all you need to do is listen.
More experience.
More reliable. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Triple team traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
The Findlay Roofing Chief Barking Officer Rufus has the zoomies. He's rolling over about saving you $1,000 bucks off your roof replacement. That's a lot of bones. Hey, it's Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Stop repairing the leaks and dragging your feet. For a limited time, save $1,000 on your roof replacement. Hurry, this treat ends on Halloween. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, host of Inside Georgia Real Estate, right here on 95.5 WSB. Each Saturday, my show covers Atlanta's housing market and all things real estate. Reach out to me for trustworthy residential real estate advice. My team and I at The Agency Atlanta have something amazing for you. The Agency Atlanta's Home Report Card, a free, customized analysis on your home, a secret weapon to get more when the time comes to sell. Know your home's strengths and weaknesses, how your home stacks up against your competition, and when you are most likely to get top dollar. You'll know how to bring your grade up to an A+ and net more money when it's time to move. So if selling your home has even crossed your mind, let me send you the Agency Atlanta's free home report card. This is invaluable information and it's free. Go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com today to connect with us at the Agency Atlanta. That's InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey, fellas, if you are currently using a pill or a lotion to maintain the hair that's currently on your head, all right, good for you. But that pill and that lotion, they're not going to regrow hair where it's currently gone. Do you know who can do that? Advanced Hair. Hey, it's Mark Aram here. They combine science and technology to give you back your own natural growing hair. And it regrows your hair where it's currently gone. And it's a proven guaranteed solution, guaranteed for life. Quick, simple one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, They can knock out all of those issues. If you want to get your hair back, now's the time, and Advanced Hair is the place. Guys, it takes just one visit, but first you're going to need a free consultation. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow, advancedhair.com.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Morgan & Morgan, Atlanta, 191 Peach Street, Atlanta, Georgia. Dow Pound Law. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. Kroger shoppers never compromise. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, 16-ounce packs of Kroger brand 80% lean ground beef are on sale for only $4.99 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
There's no need to be scared of stains in your carpet when you can call Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. It's Patrick, owner of Zerorez. Zerorez cleans without the use of harsh soaps or spooky chemicals, leaving behind clean carpets safe for the entire family. For a limited time, get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129 when you mention WSB. That's right, 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZerorezAtlanta.com. Zerorez, it's the right way to clean.
Everything I ever wanted, everything.
Happy 53rd birthday, country singer Brad Paisley. This is his hit single, She's Everything. There's an internet rumor that he wrote this about Ashley Frasca.
I can see
She's everything.
Yeah.
She's incomparable. This next story, Deborah, reminded me of a famous Seinfeld episode. You might remember this, Longoria. Remember Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character Elaine is going to the movies, and she gets into the movie theater, and then she finds out her boyfriend's been in a car accident.
Yes.
And instead of going straight to the hospital,
Right.
she gets jujubes at
Right.
the refreshment counter and then goes to the hospital. Why does this story remind me of that Seinfeld episode, Deborah?
All right, so a police officer in New Jersey has been arrested for taking a little detour on his way to a double murder. So on the call, he decided, I'm kind of hungry, stops at an ATM, gets a pizza, actually hangs it at the pizza joint for about an hour. And this is the complete...
An hour?
That's what it says here. A complete opposite direction of where he was supposed to be going. So he finally shows up at the scene, but he's being charged for misconduct and knowingly refraining from performing his police duties. And he's also going to be charged with tampering of public records because he falsified the report when he went to file it so that they didn't know he was eating pizza. But his GPS tracker had all the information on there. And when they looked into it, they're like, well, why did you go this other direction? Why did you stop this long? So I guess he got busted in that
I was
way.
on his side in the story until he altered the records. That you can't do. But it was a double murder investigation.
The lawyer does argue that the victims couldn't have been saved anyway,
Exactly.
so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. They were dead anyway. He's coming to investigate. I'm starving. Let me get a pizza. I think better with my belly's full.
To go.
Well, he could have gotten it to go, yeah. Brought it. That might have been disrespectful, bringing a sausage and pepperoni pie to the murder scene. But anyway, thank you, Deborah. All right, huge layoffs at Amazon. We're going to get the latest live from Bloomberg next on The Mark Arum Show.
When you come home after being away, you see your home with fresh eyes. And eventually, you'll roll up to your old garage door and finally notice how chipped and faded that rusty old slab really is. But that's the first thing people see when they come visit. A 250 square foot bent aluminum lime green garage door that also squeaks. Welcome to our home. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our design consultants can help you find a strong, quiet, modern garage door that anyone would be proud to come home to. Modern materials that won't crack, dent, or fade. In contemporary styles that showcase your home's design. Call Mo Better Garage and let us show you just how joyful arriving back home can be.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
The holidays are approaching, so let my friends at Publix help you save money by shopping on the buy one, get one deals each week. Hey, it's Mark Aram. Yeah, there are BOGOs galore at your neighborhood Publix supermarkets. I love going in there and just following the yellow brick road of BOGOs. Save when you shop with the latest buy one, get one free items, deals on your favorites, and make sure you check out the BOGO deals before you shop. You can find the weekly ad online at Publix.com or in the Publix app. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Whether it's a slip that ends in a slip disc, a trick knee that's holding you back, or shoulder pain hurting your game, you can count on Northside Hospital Orthopedics. With leading care in Georgia at convenient locations all across the state, we're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia moves us, and we keep Georgia moving. Find a provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
Attention antique lovers, this weekend it's the Lakewood 400 Antique Market, located north of Atlanta on Georgia Highway 9, 2 miles south of Cumming. Visit their website at lakewoodantiques.com for more information. This weekend, don't miss the Lakewood 400 Antique Market.
Fall is a busy time, and selling your home can be overwhelming. Get a guaranteed cash offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. Millions of people in the path of Hurricane Melissa as this Category 5 storm moves slowly over Jamaica. Officials reporting 3 storm-related deaths ahead of landfall. Forecasters predicting historic devastation. Olympic gold medalist Dawn Harper Nelson and her husband Alonzo are stuck in Jamaica this morning after traveling there for business. Right now, they are in a convention center turned into an evacuation shelter.
They said that trees have been knocked down outside, and they just said they don't know how long this is going to last. My flight has already been canceled for Wednesday, and I'm now hopefully on a Friday flight.
Now, torrential rain is pounding the island. So far, some outer rain bands are also soaking parts of the southwestern portion of Haiti and eastern Cuba. We, of course, will keep an eye on it and bring you any information as we get it. All right, your weather for today here in Atlanta, cloudy, breezy, highs around 57, says Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz. More rain in the forecast come tomorrow. Marietta police this morning searching for a man believed to be armed and dangerous after he allegedly shot and killed his stepfather. 26-year-old Farron Banks wanted for the death of 58-year-old Michael Jackson, who was found shot at an apartment complex off Cobb Parkway.
Working with license plate reader technology and with assistance from the Atlanta Police Department, that suspect vehicle was located in the middle of the night down in southwest Atlanta.
Chuck McPhillamy with Marietta Police saying that Banks still has not been found. Anybody with information on his location being asked to call 911 immediately. 2 parents facing multiple child cruelty charges after their 5-month-old daughter was found with severe injuries. William King and Amber Rivera behind bars right now after their daughter was found with 30 broken bones in Lithia Springs. Prosecutors say the infant, who was born prematurely, suffered fractures to her ribs, arms, legs, wrist. The couple facing at least 18 charges, including child cruelty, aggravated battery, and obstruction. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that the remains of a hostage returned by Hamas overnight are body parts of a hostage who was recovered in Gaza by Israeli troops almost 2 years ago. Netanyahu calling the return a clear violation of the U.S. brokered ceasefire agreement, which requires Hamas to return all Israeli hostages' remains as soon as possible. He said that he's going to be convening a top security meeting with top officials for an emergency discussion to weigh Israel's response. There are still 13 bodies of hostages in Gaza. Hamas saying today that it has recovered the body of a hostage that it plans to hand over this evening. We'll be watching. And did you hear about this or stay up for it last night? Former Atlanta Brave Freddie Freeman is once again a walk-off World Series hero. He hit a game-winning solo home run in the 18th inning for a 6-5 Dodgers win in Game 3, heard on Fox.
Freeman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the clock strikes midnight. Freddie Freeman has ended it.
Freeman also ended a game in the 2024 World Series in walk-off fashion. This was only the second time in World Series history that a game lasted 18 innings. Los Angeles now leads Toronto 2-1 in the best-of-7 series. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up more than 0.5%. NASDAQ also in positive territory, and so is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca now helping you get around on the roads this Tuesday morning.
Well, Sabrina, construction crews are at it again on the west side perimeter 285 southbound. At times they're blocking lanes traveling below Hollowell Parkway, so you may see some intermittent delays there. And it looks like it's a little bit misty over in Gwinnett County, but that's not stopping crews from doing their work on Holcomb Bridge Road eastbound. They're working in the right lane at Spalding Drive. That's starting to back things up just a bit. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. High today around 57 with a cloudy sky. Will stay breezy as well. A few stray showers possible, especially late. Better rain chances Wednesday, low 49, high 55. And then mostly cloudy but dry on Thursday. 20% chance of a stray shower. Thursday's low 45, high 57.
It is 52 degrees right now in Smyrna and Riverdale. Winder, you have 51. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
We only want to be around people who think exactly like us.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
God forbid you actually converse about the world.
Eric Von Hessler.
Smash and conquer, my friend.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
We very much appreciate the trade. We're going to do tremendous trade together.
Still to come, the very latest on President Trump's Asia trip. But coming up next, Amazon announcing they're slashing 14,000 jobs. Will any of those jobs be here in Georgia? We'll check in with Bloomberg News live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
Hi, I'm Dale with TrustDale.com. For over a decade, I've trusted America's best choice for windows, doors, siding, and decks. And with their 3-way warranty, including my $10,000 Make It Right guarantee, you can invest with confidence.
That's right, Dale. America's Best Choice offers highest quality, energy-efficient windows and special pricing on custom decks. We also offer beautiful siding, doors, and now roofing, all with no pressure, no gimmicks. Visit abcwind.com for your free in-home estimate. America's Best Choice. Quality you can trust, prices you can afford.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Hi, I'm Becca, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As an in-house designer, I can't wait for you to see our incredible selection of stylish and stackable rings. If you're shopping for your wedding bands, we have high-quality designs for every style and budget, from romantic to modern. If you're looking to add to a stack, your options are endless. Discover styles with clusters of gemstones, sleek all-metal designs, updated cigar bands, and signet rings perfect for an engraving. Because a friend knows you like options. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes.
All right, Deborah, is that the original or is that from the movie?
That's from the movie.
It is correct.
Yeah, it's Hollow. Yeah.
Yes, Walk the Line. Actor Joaquin Phoenix playing the legend, Johnny Cash. Joaquin Phoenix turns 51 years old today. I am 10 months older than Joaquin Phoenix. I remember him when he made his debut in Space Camp, which is a phenomenal 80s movie. Absolutely love that. He was a little kid in that. Happy 51st birthday to Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix. He was good in Gladiator as well. Signs, Hotel Rwanda. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show, 1037. Coming up in 15 minutes, speaking of actors, we're going to talk to John Slattery. You know him from Mad Men and Sex and the City. Amazing actor. He is going to join us. Coming up in an hour, big avian flu outbreak here at Georgia poultry plants. We're going to talk to Tyler J. Harper. He is the ag commissioner here for the state of Georgia. Obviously updating the latest on Hurricane Melissa, a Cat 5 storm, and President Trump's visit to Asia continues today. He's in Tokyo. On Thursday, he is going to head to China and meet with the Chinese President Xi Jinping. All right, joining us now from ABC News, our buddy Jim Ryan. Jim, saw the breaking news over the weekend. Two-time All-Pro NFL center, retired NFL center Nick Mangold died of kidney disease. He had posted on social media a couple of weeks earlier that he needed an organ transplant. Apparently, it didn't happen. What can you tell us about this story?
Well, you can only imagine Nick Mangold with all sorts of social media followers, all the money in the world potentially, and he was in good health at only 41 years old and a former pro athlete. Even with that, all of those advantages on his side, he still was unable to find a donated organ, a kidney, and he died of kidney failure on Saturday, Mark. You can only imagine how the 105,000 other Americans who are on organ donation wait lists feel if they don't have that kind of influence or that kind of social media power or money or health. So, yeah, and 86% of them are waiting for kidneys, just as Mangold was. 86%. The problem is that there is just such a small pool of living donors. Now, people sign their driver's license all the time and say, yeah, I'll be an organ donor after I die, but very few of those, according to medical professionals, very few people die in such a way that their kidneys and their livers can be donated. So the goal now is to get more people to donate while they're still alive.
Interesting. I didn't know. First off, 105,000 Americans waiting for organs, a majority of those waiting for kidneys, and the lack of living donors, right? That obviously adds to the problem here. But I could see the other side of the coin, where folks that are, don't come from the background that Nick Mangold did, that don't have his money or his social media influence, be like, well, why should he jump to the front of the line? Just because, I'm making minimum wage, I deserve a kidney as much as this former NFL center.
Well, I'm not sure that he did jump to the front of the line. I mean,
obviously
he didn't
not.
Get that donated organ. He had already tried with his family members, tried to get a blood and tissue match, and just didn't find one there. So, whether or not he went to the top of the list or not, is really unclear at this point. But those people who are not at the top are facing the same sort of challenges that he did. Now there's a move in Congress, something called the End Kidney Deaths Act, EKDA, which would sort of incentivize live donors. It would provide a $10,000 refundable tax credit for 5 years, so $50,000 altogether to someone who donates a kidney while they're still alive. So
I've got a lot to say about that, Jim. I am so sorry for that. But we've talked about this before, Deborah, about selling your kidneys. I'll give my opinion on that in just a second, but I want to get to this big story that popped Bloomberg News this morning. Amazon to cut 14,000 jobs to reduce cost. Covering the story from Bloomberg News, joining us live on the Mark Arum Show, Shona Gosh. Shona, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Good morning. Great to be here.
Just anecdotally, the number of Amazon packages that come to my house on the daily, I can't believe that Amazon needs to cut costs. What's the CEO saying on why 14,000 jobs need to be eliminated?
Well, so the CEO, Andy Jassy, a few months ago, during the summer, had warned that generative AI, so things like ChatGPT to you and me, meant that the company could make efficiencies, which is sort of corporate slang for we can get rid of more people in the work that it does at the corporate HQ. So that's kind of less the stuff around, putting together your packages and sending them out, and more the sort of laptop, computer, white-collar work you'd associate with offices. A lot of that stuff, Jassy was suggesting, could be tidied up and done by AI. So that's really the beginning of what we're seeing here.
So this is an AI-related story, that those white-collar jobs, the corporate jobs, are the ones that are going to be cut, not the workers in the warehouses or the delivery folks. It's more at the corporate level.
It's more at the corporate level, and we've seen, CEOs make these warnings before. Amazon itself is obviously one of the biggest tech companies globally. It's a huge player in artificial intelligence through its own cloud business. So the phrase in tech is often eating your own dog food, which is using your own technology in a way that helps you. And that's what Amazon has spoken about trying to do. It's using artificial intelligence to create efficiencies. So, it could be small things that maybe AI can pick up, the kind of grunt work that a manager used to do. Maybe that's now faster with AI models like ChatGPT and others. And so you just simply don't necessarily need quite as many people as you did before, but that's where the efficiencies are.
Shona, Amazon was in the news a couple of weeks ago. We were in depth on that story, not in a good sense. It was that Amazon cloud outage that impacted so many businesses. I was stunned, not because of the outage, but the fact that the Amazon cloud feature is their highest profit center for Amazon. That shocked me that that's where they make most of their money, not from deliveries or online purchases, but that cloud coverage. Did that cloud failure impact this decision at all, or are these totally unrelated?
I think they're not directly related. I think what you're seeing with the cloud outage, and many of your listeners will have been impacted by that, is you're seeing that Amazon is the biggest player in this area of internet infrastructure. Services that we all know and love, Amazon's own services, music streaming services like Spotify and others. Lots of banking applications run on Amazon's infrastructure, and it's really good at it, and it's been doing it for a long time. But when you have a sort of monopoly, or really it's between three players, Microsoft and Google are the other two, but Amazon is by far the biggest. If something goes wrong at any of those data centers, you're gonna see these outages, and you're really gonna feel that impact for a long time. And the region affected by Amazon, it's one of its longest running data center regions. It's sort of got the oldest and longest running. It's the most popular one. So there's a lot of pressure on that choke point, but probably unrelated to the layoffs today. But who knows? Maybe an engineer who may have been partially responsible for the technical hiccup got the nudge today. We don't know.
He was one of the 14,000 that caused that Amazon cloud outage. Now, Shona, traditionally, and I could be wrong, this is your area of expertise, when we see a big company like Amazon cutting jobs to reduce costs, the market responds favorably. Usually they're like, oh, they're being fiscally responsible, and the stock price goes up. I'm looking now, Amazon's actually down today, down to $226.55 a share. Am I wrong in making that assumption that usually the stock price goes up after these big cuts?
Yeah, it's a really interesting point. And, maybe it's to do with the rationale behind the hiring to begin with. I never want to predict why the market is moving the way it does. It moves in mysterious ways, but some of this is a signal that Amazon may have got something wrong a few years ago. So you may or may not remember stories around the pandemic about while everyone else was sitting at home under stay-at-home orders, the major tech companies were hiring like mad. We were all sat there on our laptops, our phones, using these services more, and accordingly, the tech companies hired a huge number of people to kind of service that demand. And Amazon was one of the biggest hirers. So it actually hired a huge number of people. I think it increased its workforce something like 75% around, in 2021, which is a huge additional number of people. And now it's finding that actually that demand hasn't sustained. Post-pandemic, we all are a bit more out in the real world. Obviously, we're still ordering all those packages, but, we like to be out and about with people. So there wasn't necessarily a great sustained need for all those extra staff. So this is also a bit of a rollback. It's not just an AI story. It's a rollback of all the hiring in the pandemic. So maybe it's the investors saying, maybe you should have seen this coming, actually, and it was a bad decision to begin with. That's one theory behind maybe why the stock price is a bit depressed.
That's why I do not play the market at all. Shona Ghosh, Bloomberg News. Shona, phenomenal insight. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right. So if you're an Amazon worker here in Metro Atlanta at a warehouse or delivery driver, your job's safe. All these 14,000. The fact, Deborah, that they can cut 14,000 corporate jobs and still function is remarkable. The size of that company is crazy. All right, when we come back after a quick break, you know him, you love him from Mad Men, Sex and the City. Actor John Slattery is going to join us after we check the Tuesday morning drive live with the latest. Ashley Frasca.
Well, it's about to get a little hectic through Sandy Springs. Traffic Trooper Paul alerted me to a jackknife tractor trailer, and I see it in 2 to 3 center lanes, 285 westbound between Georgia 400 and Roswell Road. People getting by in the left lane and kind of on the narrow right shoulder there, so that's going to back things up. We've got delays at times with road work happening on 285 South between South Cobb Drive and Hollowell Parkway. A crash on the left shoulder, but the fire department's there in Swanee at 85 South, just past 985. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic hits.
I-75 completely shut down north and south between McDonough and Locust Grove.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Brake lights fill in on 316 westbound at Sugarloaf Parkway.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Heavy police fire department activity.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Mark Aram here for my friends at Renters Warehouse. Fall is here. The kids back in school. Time to take a quiz. Question 1. If you already own a house with a low interest rate, what's the best way to get even more value from it? Answer, rent it out. Renting already delivers cash flow, appreciation, and tax benefits. Now it allows you to keep that low interest rate, and hey, you can always move back in if you want to. Question 2. With Renters Warehouse, do you have to find tenants, collect rent, or handle maintenance calls? No. Renters Warehouse does it all for you. That's why they're Atlanta's leading real estate investment services company. Final question. Do you pay Renters Warehouse a percentage of the rent or a low flat monthly fee? Answer, a low flat monthly fee. For just $115 a month, you can outsource all your management headaches to them. Now, to pass the test, I need you to do one more thing. Go to rwatlanta.com today, book your free home rental price analysis, or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
I'm Channel 2's Lori Wilson.
I'm Fred Blankenship. Channel 2 Action News this morning is the best place to be for breaking news.
So much is happening, and we're on it. Our reporters are the first to know in your community, bringing you fresh information, the best video.
We know you depend on us. It's why we're everywhere, live, to prepare you for the day ahead.
In the morning, see what's new.
Don't miss a day. Join us. Channel 2 Action News this morning, 4:30 to 7.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today. 404-208-3300. That's 404-208-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, host of Inside Georgia Real Estate, right here on 95.5 WSB. Each Saturday, my show covers Atlanta's housing market and all things real estate. Reach out to me for trustworthy residential real estate advice. My team and I at The Agency Atlanta have something amazing for you. The Agency Atlanta's Home Report Card, a free, customized analysis on your home, a secret weapon to get more when the time comes to sell. Know your home's strengths and weaknesses, how your home stacks up against your competition, and when you are most likely to get top dollar. You'll know how to bring your grade up to an A+ and net more money when it's time to move. So if selling your home has even crossed your mind, let me send you the Agency Atlanta's free home report card. This is invaluable information and it's free. Go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com today to connect with us at the Agency Atlanta. That's InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com.
Very excited. Joining us live on the Mark Arum Show, star of perhaps the greatest television show of all time, John Slattery, a.k.a. Roger Sterling, live on the Mark Arum Show. John, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Take your humble hat off. Mad Men, greatest show of all time, yay or nay?
I don't know, man. Sopranos is tough. Tough to beat. Yeah, I like Mad Men. Yeah, sure. Why not? Best ever.
Did you know, filming the pilot, that this is something special, Mad Men?
Yeah, it was pretty great. I mean, the script was great. The part was not that in evidence in the early going, but Matt Weiner assured me what a great part it would be, and he was true to his word.
Legendary.
Great part.
Legendary. All right, November 7th. I'm also excited about this. Nuremberg's coming out. You, Rami Malek, Russell Crowe. Obviously, historians know all about the Nuremberg trials. I'm assuming that's what this movie Nuremberg's about?
It is. It's about the trials, but it's sort of specifically, it centers around the relationship between Rami's character, Douglas Kelly, who was a shrink, and his assignment was to assure the mental stability of the Nazis to stand trial. And Russell Crowe plays Hermann Goering, and it centers on their relationship as they get to know each other and sort of what the nature of evil is. And it's a thrilling ride. It's really not. It's not a history lesson. It's really a historical thriller, I would say.
Interesting. Now, a historical, what's a period piece, like a period movie?
Yeah.
Where was the movie filmed?
In Budapest, Hungary. Yep. We shot it there for the winter before last. It was we were there for 5 months, I guess.
One of the greatest cities on the planet, right? Did you get to enjoy Budapest, or were you so busy filming and shooting and rehearsing?
No, we had a great time there. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. Yeah, and close by to a whole bunch of other places that we traveled to. Vienna, another beautiful city. Yeah, it was great.
John Slattery joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. My producer, Deborah, reminded me that I have to ask you this question because when I told her you were coming in the show, her first reaction was Sex in the City. Your amazing cameo, 2-episode appearance there. Were you married at the time that you did that episode?
No, I was not married.
So as a single guy, that episode pops. Was it tough to find dates after the scene that I'm referring to?
It's funny, you ask. A friend of mine called and said that her mother had seen the episode, and she said, "Are his parents still alive?" And I said, she said, "Yeah, they are." And she said, "They couldn't be. They couldn't still be. He never would have done that if his mother was still alive."
I mean, it's Sex in the City, though. It was a major hit, and you obviously, you were just on for a couple of episodes, but it's still in everyone's memory. Yeah.
Luckily, I've done other things that were more recent that not to be remembered for the guy who, had those particular habits.
Listen, different strokes for different folks. John, I'm really excited about Nuremberg in theaters nationwide and here in Atlanta on November 7th. If you are ever in Atlanta, the Hollywood of the South, please stop by the studio. Would love to meet you in person.
Will do. I love it in Atlanta. It's great city.
Great to have you, John. Best of luck. Nuremberg trials, obviously. Russell Crowe, Rami Malek. There you go, Deborah. I asked about the Sex and the City scene. You want to comment on that? As
if you know, you know.
You know. Yeah. I thought he and Carrie were a good couple.
He wasn't big.
He wasn't big, but he was a politician. He's good looking. Anyway, it went south in one scene. Vinny, you can watch that with parental guidance this weekend. All right, news, weather, and traffic. When we come up, big local story, avian flu outbreak here in Georgia, the impact on the poultry industry, and the impact on you and me buying chicken and eggs. Tyler J. Harper, Georgia Ag Commissioner, live next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Want to save 1,000 bones on your next roof? Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Right now, save $1,000 on your roof replacement. Hurry, this treat ends on Halloween. FindlayRoofing.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Okay, some good news during a challenging time for everybody, and this could really help. You may know hundreds of thousands of people have already made the switch to Medi-Share, which is the affordable alternative to health insurance. And with so many people looking at how they're paying for healthcare right now, seeing premiums going up and the cost of healthcare, Medi-Share has a special offer, and a lot of people are taking advantage of it. Just apply by October 31st, and they'll waive your new member fee. You're saving $100 right off the bat. That's just the start. Obviously, the typical family saves up to $500 a month after making the switch. And Medi-Share is a Christian community that's shared more than $9 billion in medical bills over the years. It's worked beautifully for decades. I'll give you the number here in a second. If you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Just tell them the promo code SHARE to get your additional savings too. Here it is. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Your home. It's where you live, sleep, eat, and breathe. Shouldn't it be healthy and safe for your family? To be truly healthy, your home needs to be bug and critter free. Who knows what germs they bring in your house? Hey, it's Mark Aram. I trust Breda Pest Management to protect my home inside and out, because a pest-free home is a healthy home. Do not settle for the 5-minute outside only, hey, spray and pray approach to pest control. That is not protection. That's not a healthy home. Some other companies have given up on the inside of your home, but not Breda. They know a healthy home requires protection inside and out. It's the gross, germy bugs inside you want gone. So let the local folks from Breda in, and they'll keep those pests out. Breda, they handle bugs and critters for a truly healthy home. BREDA Pest.com.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
I'm so excited to hear my son's band play tonight. They've been, be right back. They've been rehearsing, bathroom break. Overactive bladder can mean missing out on life's moments, navigating life around the nearest bathroom instead of the next experience. Medtronic therapies have treated nearly 500,000 people worldwide with bladder or bowel control problems. Let Medtronic show you what's possible. Visit medtronic.com/bladderhelp to learn how.
Attention antique lovers, this weekend it's the Lakewood 400 Antique Market, located north of Atlanta on Georgia Highway 9, 2 miles south of Cumming. Visit their website at lakewoodantiques.com for more information. This weekend, don't miss the Lakewood 400 Antique Market.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. Our top local story is happening right now. A manhunt underway in Atlanta for a suspected murderer. Chuck McPhillamy with Marietta Police telling us
he should be considered armed and dangerous. Please do not approach.
Now cops are looking for 26-year-old Farron Banks. He's wanted for the death of his stepfather, 58-year-old Michael Jackson, who was found shot to death at an apartment complex off Cobb Parkway. Banks' car was found here in Atlanta, but no sign of him. Anybody with information being asked to call 911. You're urged not to approach him if you see him. We do have a picture of him posted at WSBRadio.com. Your weather for today, cloudy and breezy. Afternoon highs around 57, says Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz. And we are keeping an eye on Hurricane Melissa. It's close to making landfall on Jamaica as a Category 5 storm. Officials are expecting a storm surge that could reach 13 feet and 30 inches of rain in some parts. Meteorologist Andrew Kozak says this thing keeps growing in strength.
We're talking 185 mile per hour winds, gusts to 215. And believe it or not, it's picked up speed. The movement north-northeast at 7 miles per hour, but that is still very, very slow.
And again, forecasters warning this storm will unleash life-threatening flooding, several feet of rain and landslides. Two Douglas County parents this morning are sitting behind bars. They're facing multiple child cruelty charges after their baby is found with severe injuries.
Prosecutors say the 5-month-old baby girl born prematurely was found with 30 broken bones, including fractures to her arms, wrists, legs, and ribs. She's now in DFACS custody. Her parents, William King and Amber Rivera, claim she was injured in a car crash that was never reported. The 20-year-old Lithia Springs residents now face at least 18 charges, including child cruelty, aggravated battery, battery and obstruction. A judge refused to grant them bond. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
President Trump talking to business leaders in Tokyo as part of his trip to Asia. He spoke about the strategic and business relationship between the U.S. and Japan and announced some trade agreements.
America's once again a manufacturing nation, and something that we haven't talked about for a long time. Japan has been with us all the way.
Now, the president said that Japan is investing $550 billion in the U.S. and has agreed to buy U.S. agriculture products and manufactured goods, including cars and Ford F-150s. Sandy Springs-based UPS announcing it's eliminating 34,000 jobs this year. These job cuts are part of a larger ongoing company turnaround plan and were reported along with some strong third-quarter earnings that did beat what analysts had expected. And this just in, we've learned that the Georgia Board of Natural Resources has just now voted to approve an increase in what it costs to use state parks. The fee is going to double from $5 to $10. A state audit finds some fees have not changed since 2009. And all that scrolling through your phone, well, it's harmful for you. A health expert at the Cleveland Clinic, Dr. Adam Borland, who's a psychologist, says what's known as doom scrolling can fuel stress, anxiety, even disrupt your sleep. He says to avoid this, you want to set screen time limits. He suggests starting with realistic goals and using an alarm to signal when your screen time is up. He says once the alarm goes off, do something more positive for mental health, like a hobby or going for a walk. And speaking of a walk, which is better, a few short walks or one long one? Well, a new study in the UK finds that it's best to take one long daily walk rather than taking multiple short walks throughout the day. People who walk 15 minutes or longer each day had a lower risk of death and a lower risk of cardiovascular disease than people who took shorter walks, even if the overall number of steps they took was the same. Doctors say any walking is better than none at all. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up almost 0.5%. NASDAQ and the S&P are also in the green. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Not going anywhere fast, that's for sure. On the north side perimeter, travel advisory, jackknife tractor trailer 285 westbound, the outer loop between Georgia 400 and Roswell Road. Right now, only the right lane and the far left lane are getting by, but that's before first responders get there, so more lanes will get blocked. You're already jammed up back through Dunwoody. Take 85 south to I-75 north as an alternate. Speaking of 85 south in Norcross, we got a crash at Jimmy Carter Boulevard, exit number 99. They just got that to the left shoulder, so that's put some extra pressure on the ride back up into Duluth, but hopefully now that that's on the shoulder, things will start to improve there. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. We'll stay cloudy, breezy, and cool today. Highs in the mid-50s. A few showers coming in tonight. Better rain chances on Wednesday. Up to an inch of rain. North Metro, less than a half. South Metro, low 49, high 55 on Wednesday. Then mostly cloudy but drying out Thursday, high 57.
53 degrees in Powder Springs. Duluth, you have 52. And in Peachtree City, it's 53 degrees there. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I run this town to be near you.
11:05 on No Surprise, an extremely busy Newsday Tuesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Hurricane Melissa's eye wall now pushing ashore in Jamaica. Earlier in the show, we went live to Jamaica. We'll continue our coverage of Hurricane Melissa throughout the day on 95.5 WSB. President Trump continues his Asia trip, currently in Japan. We'll go back to D.C. for the latest on that. And it is day 28 of the government shutdown. Very excited to go in depth on a big local story here in Georgia that popped over the weekend. Honored to have joining us live on the Mark Aram Show, Georgia Agricultural Commissioner Tyler Harper. Commissioner Harper, good morning. Thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, Mark. Good to be with you, and thank you for having us on.
I'm keenly aware the poultry industry here in Georgia is a huge portion of our economy. Unfortunately, avian flu poking up again. What's the current status with avian flu here in the state of Georgia, Commissioner?
So you're right, Mark. You know, look, agriculture is our state's number one industry. It's the backbone of our state's economy. It's what we do well in the state of Georgia, and poultry is a big part of that. Matter of fact, over a third of Georgia agriculture, of our $91.5 billion agricultural industry, is tied to poultry alone. It is a significant part of the success of Georgia's agricultural story, and a lot of that poultry is located, you know, all over the state, but significantly in the northern part of the state. And there are always threats that we're dealing with in agriculture. You know, there are different threats. One of those in poultry is high path avian influenza, or bird flu as it's commonly known. And it's definitely something that's been a threat for a number of years, and it's something we work every single day to address and ensure that we're fighting against and work to ensure that it doesn't enter our state or come in contact with our poultry here. But unfortunately, this would be the third case we've had in our commercial poultry operations in our state. And our team is on the ground currently there. We've been on the ground since late Thursday night, first thing Friday morning, whenever we were first informed about it, and went to work immediately to address the issue, to ensure that we're able to protect the food supply, because that's what we do at the Department of Agriculture, but also ensure that our poultry industry continues to succeed. And so we're continuing that operation and look to have that wrapped up here in the next couple of days, and continue to allow our poultry industry to be successful and protect it also at the same time, as well as the food supply.
As you mentioned, the third time this year that the bird flu, if you will, has been confirmed in a commercial poultry operation here in Georgia. Do we have any idea how it gets into these flocks at these commercial facilities?
Look, when it comes to Georgia, there are a lot of, as I said, poultry industry is significantly large here. We're the number one poultry state in the nation. We grow more chicken basically than anybody else does in the country, but we've been very successful, I think, in our state. And across the country, we've seen over 182 million birds affected by avian influenza or high-path avian influenza. In Georgia, we've only seen a little less than 350,000, so less than 1/4% of the poultry affected across the country has actually been in the largest poultry state in the country. So I think it goes to show that we've done a really good job of protecting our industry, of increasing our biosecurity measures on the farm, and working to ensure that we're protecting the poultry industry and the food supply. At the end of the day, wildlife are a significant carrier of high-path avian influenza, everything from ducks to buzzards and everything in between. And so there are a lot of different scenarios where we are constantly monitoring our wildlife populations to ensure that we're able to protect our farms, because that wildlife does traverse those areas. We work with USDA and the Department of Natural Resources and others to ensure that we continue to protect our poultry industry and our poultry farms. But I think we've done a really good job in Georgia, though, in our biosecurity measures of protecting our industry, of protecting our farms, and our farmers have done a good job in that. And we continue to build out that message to ensure that we're protecting the industry and protecting the food supply at the same time.
So that's interesting, if I'm hearing you correctly, that the source of the flu could be from a wild bird that infects the poultry stock, correct?
There's a possibility that could happen, yes, sir, because they are carriers of the virus. And so that's something that we're constantly working on and constantly working with our other partners on to ensure. But that's the reason at the department, we've worked every single day to ensure that we're focused on that response. One of those things that I learned when I become commissioner is I think our agency had a mindset that we were an agency that would respond to an emergency, not necessarily an emergency response agency. We are an emergency response agency, and reestablishing our law enforcement unit, among other things, has helped us build out that emergency management team. And so, for example, in these cases, we use our law enforcement unit to lock down the facility. So no one gets in or out of those premises unless they belong there, to ensure that no further spread, and we are able to contain that particular spread, or able to contain that high-path avian influenza in that particular area without fear or without spread of that particular virus. And so we've been doing a lot of things at the department. We've established our Emergency Operations Center, which went up and running earlier this year. We actually used it for the first time in the response to the case in northeast Georgia, and now obviously we're using it again in the response to this case. It puts all of our partners around the table to ensure that we're protecting the industry, protecting the food supply, And at the end of the day, consumers can have 100% confidence in the food supply because of the work that we're doing.
Yeah.
That emergency response and our management team in ensuring that it's safe.
Yeah, I do want to get into the food supply aspect of that. Georgia Agriculture Commissioner Tyler Harper joining us on the Mark Arum Show. You mentioned that emergency response team. Without getting into the grim details, but when you have an outbreak at a poultry plant like this, what exactly do you folks do, and what needs to be done to contain and make sure that the threat is snuffed out?
So immediately once we find that there's a possibility, we activate our emergency response team. We activate our emergency operations center at the department, and we activate our staff. And we immediately deploy to that area while we're waiting on those final results from the lab to ensure that that we have a positive on our hands. Hopefully, obviously, we deploy, and if there's a negative, we scale back down. But at the end of the day, we're always going to be ready to go. But once we receive that notification, we begin our operations. Obviously, the first thing is to secure the area, which is what we do with our law enforcement team. And then our emergency management operations teams come on site, and we work with our partners in the industry. We work with the grower, the farmer, as well as the integrator and others in the poultry industry to successfully ensure that we contain everything on site. Nothing leaves that particular site, and we work to ensure that we are able to, as you mentioned, snuff out the virus in that area. And then there's significant amounts of cleaning and disinfecting that go into this as well. We have what we establish a hot-cold line. So if you go behind that line, you cannot leave, you cannot exit that particular line unless you've been through a complete disinfecting process. Our team wears Tyvek suits and other protecting equipment to ensure that they're protected, but also to ensure that we don't spread the virus further from that particular location. There is a lot of biosecurity that goes into this, and we have equipment to ensure that we're cleaning and protecting our team, our staff, but also the farm. And then we go into that cleaning and disinfecting stage, and then we go into a monitoring stage. But we're also monitoring other farms because immediately we establish a monitoring zone of up to 5 and 10 kilometers around where this particular incident happens. And all of those farms are constantly monitored and put under quarantine until we're able to ensure that they're safe and secure as well.
I think you mentioned 350,000 birds in Georgia, which is, a drop in the bucket compared to the 182 million number that you gave, I believe, nationwide. Will consumers in Georgia see a price jump when we go to buy chickens at our local grocery store, or is that a small enough number where it shouldn't impact the supply?
I don't necessarily see any impacts to the poultry supply in our state. We're talking low numbers on the amount of poultry that are impacted by HPAI right now, even on this particular in this particular operation. We think that there shouldn't be any impacts on price at the grocery store related to this particular issue. Consumers can have confidence in the food supply that they're buying because when these things happen, we immediately respond and quarantine and shut down all of that particular product, ensure that it doesn't make it into the food supply chain. That's the reason it's important that we act quickly. I think our team has done that successfully, and we continue to monitor this particular operation. And as I mentioned, that's why we're monitoring the other farms also. So there's a lot that goes into this. It's more than the farm itself that was impacted. It's also the other farms that surround that we monitor to ensure that there's no issues there, to ensure that nothing makes it into the food supply chain from those particular operations as well. So we step up our enforcement and our monitoring efforts. But I think the other thing that's important here too, Mark, is in the commercial poultry operations, we are constantly monitoring that poultry flock for HPAI across the state. That's how we catch these issues, because we're ensuring that flock is completely safe. We're doing that every single day. The poultry lab in Gainesville runs those tests constantly. And so when we have an issue like this, we step up our enforcement and we step up our monitoring in those areas significantly. But commercial flocks across the state are constantly monitored, and I think that's why consumers should have more confidence in that product, because we're watching it. We're ensuring that it's safe and ensuring that what gets to the grocery store shelf is something consumers can have 100% confidence on in the food that they're preparing for their families or that they're consuming at restaurants, among other things. And that's the other reason we encourage folks if you have backyard flocks, because those are not monitored, that if you see those signs of avian influenza or you see signs that you're not quite sure, please reach out to us, because the quicker you reach out to us, the quicker we can respond and ensure that we're able to address that issue locally and ensure that there's no further spread.
Commissioner, while I have you, broader agricultural question. Farms here in Georgia, post-Hurricanes Helene and Milton, fully recovered? Do they have the funds necessary? How's farming in general going in Georgia after those two hurricanes?
Well, I think, Mark, when you look at agriculture in general, yes, those hurricanes had a significant impact, and they're definitely, our farm families are still recovering. But agricultural, the ag economy as a whole, is still in a pretty tough spot, just to be honest. You know, we saw the largest decline in net farm income in the last 2 years of the previous administration of over $40 billion. We still have a significant agricultural trade deficit, which means we're becoming more reliant on foreign sources of food than we are for our own farmers here at home. And then you throw on top of that natural disasters like Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene, which have just left devastating impacts on our farm families, multi-generational impacts. So there's a lot that goes into this, you know, that where we are in the current state of agriculture, everything from a level playing field to trade to input costs to suppress commodity prices, and then the difficulties of those natural disasters. Our farm families are working every day to ensure that we work every single day that ensure that our farm families are successful. Part of that is helping them continue to get back on their feet in response to Hurricane Helene, and we're working. Our team is working overtime to make that a priority, and it is a priority of our team to ensure that priority is seen through, and that we're able to get those resources to those farm families that definitely need it. But we're working with the administration to ensure that our farm families have the resources they need, and this administration's been doing a lot. We've had the largest influx in farm programs in over a decade in the Big Beautiful Bill a couple of months ago. You know, the recent couple of recent announcements related to AWR and labor rates, they have reduced those for our farm families, which will save our farmers in Georgia a significant amount of money on the family farm. So there's a lot that's went into this overall in the ag economy. But our farm families are definitely feeling a lot of those issues, and we're here to work with them every single day to help ensure that they're successful. And that's our commitment at the department, and it is my job as the commissioner.
Final quick question for you, Commissioner. I've got about 30 seconds. We've been covering the struggle of soybean farmers nationally with not having that, being able to sell their product to Chinese markets. Are soybeans a big product here in Georgia?
We do have a number of farmers that grow soybeans, but obviously soybeans are not as big of a commodity in our state as it is in the Midwest. But at the end of the day, it's a perfect example of ensuring that we have market access all over the globe. And, you know, this past weekend, the president and the administration announced conversations ongoing with China and opening up that market access for our producers here at home in America. It's just critical that we ensure that our farm families are successful, regardless of the commodity that they grow. And that's what we're going to work with Secretary Rollins and the Trump administration to ensure that they're able to do that. And our commitment is to ensure that our farm families are successful, because their success is our state's success, and it's America's success. And they've got to be successful if we want our nation to be successful. It's national security at the end of the day.
Georgia Ag Commissioner Tyler Harper. Commissioner, amazing stuff. Thank you so much for your time. If you ever need to talk to the folks here in North Georgia, you've got an open mic with us anytime you want, sir.
Well, I appreciate that, Mark. Thank you for having us on. Great to be with you.
I appreciate
you telling the story.
Absolutely,
yes,
yeah. Huge local story. I mean, it's the number one economic driver in the state of Georgia is our agriculture industry. Great stuff there from the commish. I am way late. 1,000 apologies to check the traffic with Alex Williams.
Hey, not a problem, Mark. Still watching this travel advisory on the north side perimeter. Jackknife tractor trailer 285 westbound, the outer loop just past Georgia 400. Only the far left and far right lane are getting by. You're already jammed up back to Chamblee Dunwoody. Take 85 5 south to 75 north as an alternate. Traffic brought to you by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage is a whole department inside your Macy's store where you can find the looks, all for under $30 with new arrivals every day. You never know what you'll find. Find a location at macysbackstage.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
To make sure your home stays comfortable as the seasons change, do what I've done for years. Call Ragsdale Heating and Air. This is Scott Slade. Take advantage of Ragsdale's $79 heating tune-up offer now. And if you're ready for a new furnace, Ragsdale is offering monthly payments as little as $119 a month for a brand new Carrier home comfort system through October. And that includes Ragsdale's own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty. Ragsdale could even install a whole home generator to keep you powered up and comfortable when you click RagsdaleAir.com or call them. Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-Ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. Mm-hmm. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-Ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
You're building a deck or adding a room? That's wonderful. But if you skip hiring an architect trying to save money, well, the builder's going to need drawings anyway. They're going to hire an architect regardless and mark up their fees to you. That's why it's smarter to start your project at Sketchhouse. Hi, I'm Richard Taylor, architect at Sketchhouse. At Sketchhouse, we'll make sure your plans are code and zoning compliant, they'll be creative, and they will look great. You're going to save thousands of dollars with Sketchhouse Architects. We're going to make this easy for you. Go to sketchhouse.com. That's sketch, H-A-U-S, sketchhouse.com.
2 houses, same neighborhood, nearly identical on paper, but one had an orchard sign and it sold for a lot more. So what gives? Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler. The first seller went the trad route. Agent, open houses, price drops, long size, and eventually they gave in and settled for less. The second seller? They went with Orchard. Orchard didn't just list the home, they launched it. Their local agent knew which upgrades would get attention, brought in the right team, and handled everything like a well-oiled home selling machine. Oh, and they also let the seller move first with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program. That means no showings while living in a half-packed house, no buyers judging your choice of throw pillows, just peace, quiet, and top dollar. One got stress, the other got smart. Don't settle. Sell the smart way with Orchard. Start with a free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's
In their mad rush to fulfill
Orchard.com.
personal agendas, the FBI and the media almost destroyed me and my mother.
29 years ago today, Richard Jewell, cleared of committing the Olympic Park bombing, held a news conference in Atlanta, thanked his mother for standing by him, lashed out at reporters and investigators who depicted him as the bomber. That was 29 years ago today on WSB Radio. I went along with the Ag Commish, so we're going to break for news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, continue our team coverage of Hurricane Melissa. Moni Love, live next on The Mark Arum Show.
Scott Slade here to talk to you about your health, and I think it's real important to talk about what is most likely to kill you. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and the older we get, the more prevalent it is. But you can reduce your risk. Eat right, don't smoke, exercise, and be informed about what's going on in your own body. Like lots of potentially serious health problems, if you catch heart disease early, you vastly increase your chances of living a longer life. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging scans take less than 10 minutes and screen with 98% accuracy for heart disease. Other scans, including brain and full body, are available too. Virtual imaging is locally owned and operated in Atlanta for over 15 years, so they can make you this terrific offer. A complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse with a few minimum requirements. So don't put this off. I've done it. Call Virtual Imaging today for your free heart scan. 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-7226. Or visit their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Hey friends, have you filed an insurance claim for a roof replacement only to be denied? Are you not sure what to do? You're not alone. Dr. Roof here to help. Hey, it's Mark Arum. Dr. Roof specializes in reviewing the storm damage and getting your roof replaced. They've been around for over 37 years and can help you with all of your options. Don't settle for a denied or partial insurance claim. Get the roof you deserve with Dr. Roof online at drroof.com.
The NBA season tips off, and so does DraftKings' newest fantasy game. DraftKings Pick 6 is the easiest way to play for big wins, with every possession giving you a shot at real money. Here's how to play. Just pick more or less on 2 or more stats and unlock the upside every game brings. The better your picks, the bigger your payout. Pick 6 is available in your state. Plus, new DraftKings customers can get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry on your first pick set. Don't just watch basketball, cash in. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code WSB955. That's code WSB955. Play just $5, get $50 in Pick 6 bonus picks. Make the call. Ride the upside in partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Critters creeping? Better call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade's Georgia every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Main Street Auto. Happening right now, Marietta police are searching for a man believed to be armed and dangerous after he allegedly shot and killed his stepfather, 26-year-old Farron Banks, wanted for the death of 58-year-old Michael Jackson, who was found shot at an apartment complex off Cobb Parkway.
Working with license plate reader technology and with assistance from the Atlanta Police Department, that suspect vehicle was located in the middle of the night down in southwest Atlanta.
That is Chuck McPhillamy with Marietta Police. He says Banks, though, still has not been found. Anybody with information on his location asked to call 911 immediately. Do not approach him. Your weather for today, cloudy and breezy with a high of 57, says Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz, but rain back in the forecast for tomorrow. One of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes in history about to make landfall in Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa, a Cat 5, packing winds of 185 miles an hour, gusting up to 215. Dr. Kevin Brown is the president of the University of Technology in Jamaica. He says they've been watching and preparing for the storm since last week.
We've been working remotely since last week, Wednesday. So most staff and students are at home, but I still have 200 students who are currently on the campus riding out the storm.
Now, Melissa is already responsible for 7 deaths, 3 of those in Jamaica during storm preparations. 2 parents facing multiple child cruelty charges this morning after their 5-month-old daughter was found with severe injuries. William King, Amber Rivera, both behind bars right now after their daughter was found with 30 broken bones in Lithia Springs. Prosecutors say the infant, who was born prematurely, suffered fractures to her ribs, arms, legs, and wrist. The couple facing at least 18 charges, including child cruelty, aggravated battery, and obstruction. The U.S. has destroyed 4 more alleged drug-running boats off Mexico's west coast. Correspondent Michael Wallace has details.
In a post on X, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the strikes in the eastern Pacific Ocean killed 14 suspected drug traffickers. A lone survivor was rescued by Mexican authorities. The U.S. military has now killed at least 57 alleged traffickers in the Pacific and the Caribbean in the last 2 months. Hegseth says narco-terrorists have killed more Americans than al-Qaeda, and they will be hunted and killed.
And President Trump has suggested land strikes in Venezuela could come next. A soft rollout of innovative smart lights is approved by the Alpharetta City Council. It will only include a couple of test fixtures initially, but then City Manager Chris Lagerbloom says that similar installations in Peachtree Corners have been well received there.
I've seen the proof of concept. I've seen it in action. I've talked to other city leaders who absolutely are thrilled with the technology and how they've been able to interface with it. So we've gotten good feedback.
In addition to enhanced lighting, they feature advanced cameras and data collection technology to assist law enforcement and improve safety. If the planned program goes forward, the coverage area will be on Highway 9 between Academy Street and Old Milton Parkway. All right, let's check your money. We're in the green today. The Dow is in positive territory, up almost 0.5%. NASDAQ and the S&P also in the green. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Big mess on the north side perimeter, Sabrina. Still got this jackknife tractor trailer 285 westbound, the outer loop just past Georgia 400, exit 27. Only the far right lane and far left lane are getting by. You're jammed up from Chamblee-Dunwoody Road. You can take 85 south to I-75 north as an alternate. Just had a slow zone. Looks like it might be improving, actually. I-20 westbound on the East Freeway heading into downtown. Seeing the brake lights between Boulevard and the downtown connector, but looks like those are starting to improve. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. High today around 57 with a cloudy sky. Will stay breezy as well. A few stray showers possible, especially late. Better rain chances Wednesday, low 49, high 55. And then mostly cloudy but dry on Thursday. 20% chance of a stray shower. Thursday's low 45, high 57.
It is cloudy and 53 degrees right now in Kennesaw. Alpharetta, you have 52 degrees, and here in Midtown Atlanta, 53 degrees under cloudy skies. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Eric Erickson.
Informative and topical when you want it.
And he's involved in keeping Chinese communist students at American University.
And a break when you need it.
I forgot to leave food out for the cat. Can you go check on the cat?
Eric Erickson.
By belittling other people, you show your tribal loyalty.
Today, starting at noon, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is not a joke. It is very serious, guys, and it is going to be something different.
Jamaican resident Earl Cameron coming up next. We'll continue our team coverage of Hurricane Melissa. Moni Love live next on the Mark Arum Show.
I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. I've been in banking for over 30 years, and my team and I know that businesses have the best results when they work with local bankers who know the Atlanta market. Bankers who will work to understand your business operations and bring good ideas to the table. At Ameris Bank, we do that. I invite you to reach out so we can start a conversation. Visit amerisbank.com/yourbusiness or a local branch near you. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
How confident are you that the water in your home is safe to drink, wash, bathe in? If you're not sure, I want you to get an amazing deal from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Free water quality analysis, and then you can decide whether you need Reliable to purify the water in your home for all the bad stuff that you don't want in and around your body. Just go to reliableair.com and click on the Book Now button, or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
When you come home after being away, you see your home with fresh eyes. And eventually, you'll roll up to your old garage door and finally notice how chipped and faded that rusty old slab really is. But that's the first thing people see when they come visit. A 250-square-foot bent aluminum lime green garage door that also squeaks. Welcome to our home. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our design consultants can help you find a strong, quiet, modern garage door that anyone would be proud to come home to. Modern materials that won't crack, dent, or fade, in contemporary styles that showcase your home's design. Call Mo Better Garage and let us show you just how joyful arriving back home can be.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, where since 1939, we've been helping Atlanta fill up their jewelry wish lists in a fun, laid-back atmosphere. We have a trained staff of jewelers, not salespeople, to help you find the right fit for any style, any occasion, and any budget. D. Geller & Son has Atlanta's best selection of fashion trends like stackable rings and gemstone necklaces, and the best value in staples like diamond studs and engagement rings. So come by D. Geller & Son in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
It's all up for the taking. Shutting down vultures, y'all do the taking.
Listen to the brand spanking new music from our friend and colleague Moni Love, hip-hop icon. She's going to join us in just a little bit, talking about her new EP and her friends and family that are in Jamaica. Obviously, by the way, Deborah, great get earlier in the show. If you missed it, we had Bobby Winter on. You might be like, who's Bobby Winter? That's Shelley Winter's brother. He joined us live from Kingston, Jamaica, a little bit earlier on the broadcast. He seems to be okay, but now it's a Cat 5 storm. It is hitting landfall. This is Evan Thompson, Principal Director of the Meteorological Service of Jamaica.
Catastrophic damage, life-threatening damage. There is very little that can stop a Category 5 hurricane.
Gosh, unbelievable. 180 mile sustained winds. Hopefully everything's going to be okay. We'll obviously monitor Hurricane Melissa throughout the show here on 95.5 WSB. Before we get to Moni, though, joining us on the program, it is correspondent Rory O'Neill. Rory, you know I love a good study. New study out on American attitudes about the NFL and even the halftime performance of the Super Bowl. What can you tell us, buddy?
Yeah, so this is a poll from Quinnipiac University. The university normally does politics, but this time around, they focused on the NFL. And first, this idea of moving the Super Bowl to President's Day weekend. That way, a lot of people, typically not us, get Monday off. And 56% of Americans are on board with that idea. That includes 64% of people who are self-described NFL fans who like this idea of having the Super Bowl in mid-February so that Monday is a holiday.
I'm okay with that, for sure. I mean, I treat it as a holiday anyway after the Super Bowl, but I am working, but I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, NASCAR may not be, but all right.
Yeah.
That's because typically the Daytona 500 is the week after the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Yeah. So now that would kick it down a week, and yeah.
What else did we learn from the study, Rory?
Well, we also they were asked about, well, if you're going to play more, that means, do you want an extended season? And according to this poll, increasing the season from 17 to 18 games has broad support, especially among NFL fans, even though they say, yeah, you know what, I'd rather see an extra game, even if it does, A, raise prices, because that means players have to make more, and B, has the risk of them being injured. That's another concern. They did ask specifically about on the topic of injuries to professional football players. 42% of Americans think the NFL is doing about the right amount to avoid serious injuries to professional football players. 30% think the NFL needs to do more. That's a pretty significant number.
Yeah. I mean, the injuries it's a part of the game, unfortunately, but I'm on board with an 18-game schedule. I like a round, even number for that. What about Bad Bunny, the, quote, controversial pick for the halftime show?
Yeah, still a bit of a coin toss. About half of Americans, 48%, approve of the decision to make Bad Bunny the halftime performer next year. Remember, Bad Bunny was in the halftime show a few years ago alongside J-Lo and Shakira. Yes, he also joined them on stage. You're forgiven if you didn't notice that he was there as well. But Bad Bunny has also won the approval of younger people in this poll. No surprise. Also more Democrats. A larger share of Black adults and Hispanic adults also approve of the choice of Bad Bunny.
Yeah, we talked about it last week, and obviously, for older gentlemen like you and I, we're used to the Rolling Stones performing, and Paul McCartney, and Prince.
The
but
Who.
The Who, yeah. But this is obviously a play for younger viewers, right? Bad Bunny brings in the younger viewership, and that is what the NFL and the networks want.
Right, and that's what the advertisers want. Let's break it all down. It's about the advertising.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Rory, always interesting stuff. Have a great day, my friend.
Thanks, Mark.
I can't even remember the last time I watched the halftime show. Usually
I always watch it.
that's when I go if I really love
The Snoop Dogg one, right?
Yeah, that's usually that's when I'm like, all right, let me go to the bathroom and catch some air. But yeah, interesting stuff there from Rory O'Neal. All right, Deborah, I want to update a couple of stories if you don't mind. This story, the headline shocked me. Indigenous tribes are at risk of extinction. I'm thinking, remote Amazonian tribes that have been cut off from contact for centuries. They're now at risk of extinction, and it's nothing about the climate or anything like that. It's gringos running into them, right? Basically,
Kind of. I don't know that you would use that word, but there's about 196 uncontacted indigenous groups around the globe, whether it's South America or South Asia. We've kind of heard about stories every once in a while how we'll get photos of them, or someone will come out into a village and are a little bit surprised when they see, more domesticated.
There's even some cannibalistic tribes that are still out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so every once in a while, these YouTubers, these TikTokers think, I'm going to be the person that goes to this tribe. I'm going to be the one to change them, to westernize them, whatever the term is that you want to use. Some of them have actually been killed doing this because, they're viewed as threats when they come into this community. Well, and another thing is that a lot of them have diseases that these
That's it.
tribes,
They bring the plague.
much like the United States was developed, right?
Yeah.
All these diseases came and killed the indigenous people here. That's what they're doing now when they go to these other tribes. So they're asking people, please stop trying to make content.
Yeah.
These people aren't for your reels. They're not for TikTok. They're not for YouTube. They're just trying to live their lives. They don't need somebody out there doing a live video trying to catch this person. Oh, look at how they live or whatever. So they're just telling people, if you keep this up in about 10 years, these tribes might not be around anymore.
Historians now say, and I'm widely fascinated by this, that the Spanish explorers in South America probably killed upwards of 50 million people, bringing disease.
Yeah.
So when the Spanish first
Europeans, because it was also Italians and Portuguese.
But I mean, the Spanish, funded by other European, whatever, they were the first to go up down the Amazon and in the Amazon jungle, and the first explorer wrote that there was these huge, miles and miles of developed civilization and cities and people on both sides of the thing. And it was like groundbreaking, like, we've discovered all of these civilizations.
Remember we saw that story about how the LiDAR covered the civilization, that they didn't know it was there?
So then 100 years later, when explorers went back, they found nothing. And they're like, oh, that dude was just lying. Like, there were no civilizations up and down the Amazon. But now we've discovered there were, but, Europeans brought all this disease to Amazon. There's one remote indigenous tribe that people try, I don't know where it is, but people try to contact
the one in the Indian Ocean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where every time you brought a boat up to this little island, they're shooting arrows at you and throwing spears, but people keep trying to go.
Yeah, just leave them alone.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're mission trips. They're like, oh, all right, good intentions, but,
I mean, is it, though? They're fine on their own.
Yes, leave them alone. Leave them alone. This is a story that I did not see coming at all. That, of course, the amazing theme to the amazing show, Yellowstone. Creator Taylor Sheridan, who is now a Hollywood mogul, is leaving for a new outfit.
Yeah, this is huge. Taylor Sheridan leaving Paramount, and basically, if you watch Paramount, all of his shows are over.
That's why you have Paramount.
Yellowstone, all of the spin-offs of Yellowstone, Tulsa King, which is amazing this season, Lioness, I believe, too. Did you watch that? There's all of these shows were built on Taylor Sheridan. It's the only reason I got the app. Well, he's leaving now to make a deal with NBC Universal. It doesn't, now his Paramount stuff doesn't end until 2028, but he's going to start working with Universal next year, 2026. So no shows announced. We don't know what he's going to be working on.
Huge get
But
for
if they're
NBC.
anything like what we've already,
it's
Landman
huge.
too, right?
I know.
Yeah, if anything like
Does
that.
it say how much NBC's paying him?
No, there's no money attached to this one.
Paramount.
Paramount's freaking out, though.
They're done.
Yeah.
They're done after this. I mean, the reason you and I have Paramount.
Never even heard of Paramount Plus until I saw the Yellowstone thing. Then I downloaded it, and I've been hooked on everything he's put out since.
Everything. He is like one of the most powerful people in Hollywood right now.
It never responds to any of our asks.
Listen, he's a busy dude. NBC's got to be paying through the nose to get him. That's
yeah, but to get any of those shows, like a Yellowstone, another Tulsa King.
I know.
Yeah, another Landman.
That's a game changer. Paramount. Longoria, I know you're a big shareholder in Paramount stock.
Yeah.
I would dump. Sell, Mortimer, sell. Because, I mean, he is Paramount. And I would love to get him on. I know you've asked, but his story, like from rags to riches.
Maybe now that he's switching and maybe he'll have new stuff to promote, maybe there'll be another round to try him.
Tell him Vinny Drip works with the show. That might
We've
get him
had
on.
actors on his shows
I know,
in here, yeah.
I know. Oh, the Tulsa King dude. Loved him. All right, I have not yet watched Tulsa King. I'm waiting until every episode's out so I can binge watch it. All right, congrats, Taylor Sheridan. He's gonna be, if he's not a billionaire yet, he'll be a billionaire soon. Speaking of billionaires, let's get an update on the ride around town. Live with the latest, it's Alex Williams.
Hey, Mark. Yeah, still watching this travel advisory in Sandy Springs. Jackknife tractor trailer now just one left lane open. 285 westbound, the outer loop just past Georgia 400. Very slow back into Dunwoody. 85 south to I-75 north is your alternate. Seeing extra pressure on 85 south, leaving Claremont Road and North Druid Hills. But again, that will save you some time as opposed to getting stuck on that north side perimeter. And a right lane crash heading into downtown, I-20 westbound at the downtown connector, exit number 57. Traffic brought to you by True Natural Gas. They could report aliens have landed, but that wouldn't be true. Here's something that is true. True Natural Gas offers low rates and great customer service. Visit TrueNaturalGas.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler, and Wednesday at 5 on Atlanta's Morning News, Clark Howard on how high school grads can create a more profitable future for themselves and what you need to know before the day's major money announcement, too, on WSB.
We're having a party and you're invited. Join Centerwell Senior Primary Care for our free grand opening party. Come meet our care team and tour the new center. Plus, food, music, games, and more. Celebrate with Centerwell East Paulding on Wednesday, November 5th, off Charles Hardy Parkway near the Walmart from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Learn more at CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. That's CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. We'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. I know finding a dream engagement ring can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we got you. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond at Shane Company is truly the best of the best. Our team travels the world to see diamonds up close, in person. We handpick each one for its unique fire, brilliance, and scintillation. Diamond buying is an art. Of course, we look at cut, color, clarity, and carat, known as the 4 C's, but that's not all. We also look at how each diamond looks on a hand, where it will be worn, how it makes you feel, and if it's worthy of a Shane Company customer. That type of expertise only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. We also think about your budget. We only pick the best in each grade in all shapes and sizes. Your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey folks, it's Belinda. What you have planned this weekend? How about visiting the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market in Cumming, Friday through Sunday this weekend? Grab your spouse or your friends and go on a treasure hunt with over 500 booths. Everything you can imagine from jewelry, collectibles, sports memorabilia, antiques, furniture, handcrafts, and toys. Every aisle and row is a different adventure. Come on out this weekend to the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market, 1321 Atlanta Highway in Cumming. Visit LakewoodAntiques.com.
I'm Channel 2's Lori Wilson.
I'm Fred Blankenship. Channel 2 Action News this morning is the best place to be for breaking news.
So much is happening, and we're on it. Our reporters are the first to know in your community, bringing you fresh information, the best video.
We know you depend on us. It's why we're everywhere, live, to prepare you for the day ahead.
In the morning, see what's new.
Don't miss a day. Join us. Channel 2 Action News this morning, 4:30 to 7.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Football season and True Atlanta Fashion Renters Warehouse going big by stuffing 24 football puns in one ad. Hope your radio's got good reception, folks. Now huddle up and listen to their pitch. If you manage your own rental property, time out, time to sack yourself and bring in backups, because giving the ball to Renters Warehouse Atlanta, a much better option. Tired of fumbling around, playing defense, and penalizing your family by working overtime? They've got the playbook for success. So just hand off your property management to them and kick back while they tackle the grunt work. Their special teams know how to handle the details and help you avoid the unnecessary roughness of managing a rental. They'll screen your tenants, make sure you receive the rent on time, and help you move maintenance calls to the sidelines. One extra point: once you see how Renters Warehouse Atlanta makes property management a snap, your happiness will spike. Don't take a knee. Take control. Go to rwatlanta.com today or call 404-662-2322. That's 404-662-2322. And that is good for Renters Warehouse Atlanta.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Okay, some good news during a challenging time for everybody, and this could really help. You may know hundreds of thousands of people have already made the switch to Medi-Share, which is the affordable alternative to health insurance. And with so many people looking at how they're paying for healthcare right now, seeing premiums going up and the cost of healthcare, Medi-Share has a special offer, and a lot of people are taking advantage of it. Just apply by October 31st, and they'll waive your new member fee. You're saving $100 right off the bat. That's just the start. Obviously, the typical family saves up to $500 a month after making the switch. And Medi-Share is a Christian community that shared more than $9 billion in medical bills over the years. It's worked beautifully for decades. I'll give you the number here in a second. If you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Just tell them the promo code SHARE to get your additional savings too. Here it is. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
I'd love to be your beck and call girl, but you're a rich, good-looking guy. You could get 1 million girls free.
Aw, thanks, Julia. Happy 58th birthday to Smyrna's own Julia Roberts. That of course, her star role in Pretty Woman. An amazing local story. She's from Smyrna. I don't know if you've ever heard this story, folks. Her connection to the King family. This is her explaining the story to Gayle King.
The King family paid for my hospital bill.
Not my family.
Not your family, but
Martin Luther King Jr.
and Coretta.
And how did that come about? Because your dad, Walter Roberts.
Yes, and obviously because my parents couldn't pay for the hospital bill, my parents had a theater school in Atlanta called the Actors and Writers Workshop. And one day, Coretta Scott King called my mother and asked if her kids could be part of the school, because they were having a hard time finding a place that would accept her kids. And my mom was like, sure, come on over. And so they just all became friends, and they helped us out of a jam.
That's remarkable. That it took late into Julia Roberts' career for that story to surface. That, you know, the Roberts family owned this theater school, and the Coretta Scott King and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. couldn't get their kids into a school. I'm assuming segregation was a problem, but the Roberts welcomed them. And then years later, the Roberts family, dealing with financial difficulties, couldn't afford to pay for the Julia Roberts birth. And so the King family paid for that. Wow, what a great story. Happy birthday, Julia Roberts. We've had her brother on 9 times. I'd love to get Julie on one time. Late edition, we have some tickets to give away, Deborah. What do we have?
We actually have 2 pair of tickets to give away today. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin evening at the Coca-Cola Roxy on November 22nd.
All right, it's the 28th day, Vin, of the government shutdown, so we'll go callers 28 and 29 to 404-872-0750. The 28th and 29th callers to 404-872-0750 win pairs of tickets to see
Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin evening.
Courtesy of the Mark Arum Show on WSB. Sponsored by Longoria's Fact of the Day.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
It is sponsored by my Fact of the Day. Today is National Chocolate Day, and for most of its history, chocolate was consumed as a bitter, frothy liquid, not as the solid bar we know today. And roughly 70% of the world's chocolate supply comes from West Africa, with the Ivory Coast being the single largest producer.
That, to me, that's a rare earth mineral. Chocolate.
To me, it is.
Yeah,
I love chocolate.
That's a rare earth mineral. It's so funny. I was talking to Jamie, our maintenance dude, the head of the grounds, and we were commenting on how cold it was. And I was like, "This is a hot chocolate day." Little did I know, it was National Chocolate Day.
There you go.
All right, so we're gonna do hot chocolates after the show.
Yeah,
All
do
right,
it.
let's do it. Happy National Chocolate Day. I guess I should bring chocolates home to Maya,
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Arum Star
and you
of
should
the
bring
Show?
chocolates home to Leslie. Vinny's got too many girls to bring chocolates to. It'd be cost prohibitive. All right, stars of the show. How about Greg Bluestein from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution? New polling numbers out by them. Natalie Brand from CBS News joined us live in the nation's capital, updating the government shutdown and President Trump's Asia trip. Abby Phillip from CNN joined us. She's got a new book out, A Dream Deferred, all about Jesse Jackson and the fight for black political power. Good to hear from Abby, even though she made us wait a little bit. How about the star of the show, Bobby Winter, Shelley Winter's older brother, joined us live from Kingston, Jamaica, gave us a firsthand account of the hurricane there. We, assuming everything goes fine with Bobby Winter, we got to send him some show gear as thanks.
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah. What do we have?
I've got sweatshirts and
Okay,
T-shirts
all right.
and swag. We'll send him Mark Arum Show gear before he gets Shelley Winter Show gear. So let's see. We had Shona Gosh from Bloomberg News on the huge Amazon layoffs. Actor from Mad Men and Sex and the City, John Slattery. We had the Ag Commission, Tyler Harper. Great stuff with him on the avian flu. And that's it. Oh, Sydney Sweeney. I guess we'll give Sydney Sweeney one as well. Yes. Anyway, all right, I got distracted. Tomorrow on the show, big stuff. Political analyst Stephen Lawson. We're going to talk to someone talking about the SNAP benefits as well. A lot of breaking news still covering throughout the day, so do not change the dial. I'll be up on social media at Mark Arum, MarkArum.